game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Kansas City one night, Sao Paulo the next night. The Eagles and Packers play their opener in Brazil tonight. Might be tough to top last night's toe tapper featuring the Chiefs and Ravens. Baltimore quarterback Lamar Jackson.
The whole game gave me encouragement, because I believe our guys were fighting. Unfortunately, we had penalties every time we had almost an explosive. Every time we had an explosive, we had a penalty right after that. So it was like, it's hard to get in the groove. Our offense battled. And we battled third and fourth quarter.
Lamar Jackson, Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson says he could be a game-time decision Sunday against the Falcons with a calf injury. Wilson was very limited in today's practice. Colts wideout Josh Downs out for Sunday's opener against the Texans, still recovering from a high ankle sprain. Raiders edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz is out Sunday against the Chargers with a knee injury. The Phillies put third baseman Alec Boehm on the injured list today with a left hand strain. He's missed the last 6 games for the Phils.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday, week 1 in the NFL, college football, and of course, Major League Baseball, and I'll recap it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. It's a football Friday. Phil Steele in 15 minutes. Theriot next hour. Guest picker. All the good stuff. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, we got really disappointing news earlier this week about John Emery. And we got pretty fascinating news on Thursday night about another LSU now running back. I'm not going to bury the lead. You probably have heard by now that LSU is moving Jawan Johnson to running back. I'll spell it out very quickly. Josh Williams, Caleb Jackson, freshman Caden Durham. That's it. Got 3 scholarship running backs. The antithesis of the problem you had a year ago where you had 8 scholarship running backs, which was way too many. Now you're down to 3. That's precarious. You can't have 3. So we're all hoping Trey Holly finds his way back. But in the meantime, they got to do something, and that something is Jawan Johnson. Okay, I'm going to react to that part of this, but I kind of want to lay out how this built up Thursday. So Thursday they practice, and then Brian Kelly meets with reporters after practice on Thursday. And the first question out the chute was very nondescript. It was basically like, how does the running game look? And you could take that a lot of ways, coming off of the game Sunday against USC, and now you're without John Emery. So it was really, hey, how does the running game look? Open-ended, take it wherever you want. And Brian Kelly chose to take it with a big picture, 10,000-foot view of the running game without any mention of John Emery's injury.
I think from a running game standpoint, I think really, as we continue to, unwrap the running game from last week, it really was situational more than anything else. It was, our short yardage running, situational running. And I think, as you and I talked about it earlier in the week,
he goes on, it's not telling you anything. He does at the end of that bite say something very interesting, though, where he said, I think the running game will be the strength of our team, not just of the offense. That's interesting. Okay. But that wasn't really where the question was going. So the next follow-up is a very specific question about replacing John Emery. And so now that Emery's not there, like, what do the numbers sort of look like without John Emery? And Brian Kelly chose not to talk about the numbers, but about John Emery.
Sometimes you think about this and you just wonder, how can this be fair in any way to this poor kid? I mean, he's just overcome so many obstacles, and he's in a non-contact situation, and he sticks his foot in the ground, and he tears his knee up, and so it was just so disappointing. He had surgery today, successful surgery.
So he talked about Emery, and rightfully so. We should be talking about John Emery, and Brian Kelly needed the opportunity to go on the record about John Emery. But the question was about the numbers at the running back position. And so then later someone pressed and asked specifically about Caden Durham, the freshman, getting some opportunities this week. But listen, because several times in this bite, Brian Kelly specifically mentions the number of running backs. And then listen very particularly at the end of the soundbite.
He'll be involved. He had a good week. And, I think all three backs, really what we tried to do is tailor the offense for them in terms of giving them the kind of plays that they feel really comfortable with and setting the offense accordingly for those three guys. So, we feel really good about where we're at. And obviously, we'd love to have John. Obviously, that's not going to be the case moving forward. And maybe we'll investigate, moving forward. Is there another, candidate for that position? But that's where we're at right now, and we feel good about it.
Maybe we'll investigate a candidate moving forward. But the questions continued coming. And ultimately, with one more running back question about numbers and moving positions, Brian Kelly finally came clean.
We moved Jawan Johnson to running back. So he's getting some carries and touches this week. And, I think he's going to win the Heisman. No, he's not going to. I'm just kidding with you. But he's going to play some running back for us, and he gives us the fourth back and gives us a little bit more balance there. And, he's an exciting player. He can do a lot of things. We felt like we could shuffle some things around on the defensive side of the ball and begin to get him involved. There's a learning curve on some of those things, but certainly I think he can do some things for us this weekend.
Okay. But by the way, Kelly started that by saying, look, I mean, y'all obviously want to know the info. I'm not going to be the guy who doesn't share. So he just the question before he says we might consider exploring something else, and then the very next way say, all right, fine, look, we moved Jawan Johnson. So it took 4 questions to get the answer, but he finally came through on it. Okay, I would assume that by nature of the fact that you're listening to Sports Talk Radio, you probably know a lot about Jawan Johnson. Maybe you don't, because not everybody is super deep into recruiting, and I get that. But by and large, I think a lot of you probably have heard the name or familiar. So Jawan Johnson went to LCA, Lafayette Christian. Last year, he was Mr. Football in the state of Louisiana. He was a top 10 cornerback in the country for the class of 2024. So he's a true freshman. He was a top 10 cornerback. He has spent this year in fall camp, however, playing defensive back, and mostly because of the numbers at corner, mostly playing star. Throughout fall camp, he was the number 2 star behind Major Burns. Now, late in camp, we saw Javan Toviano play a lot of star. So Jawan Johnson's this really athletic guy, super talented guy, just a man without a home right now because there's a lot of numbers and veteran players in the defensive backfield. What I failed to mention, however, is that Jawan Johnson, while he was recruited as a cornerback, was a 4-year starter at quarterback for LCA. And not only was Jawan Johnson a 4-year starter at quarterback for LCA, he led Lafayette Christian to 4 consecutive state championship games. 4. And when he graduated, Jawan Johnson left Lafayette Christian as the all-time leader in Louisiana high school football history in yards and touchdowns. He accounted for 14,451 yards and 171 touchdowns, both state records. By the way, when you dig a little deeper, in the state championship game in 2023 against St. Thomas More, he threw for 270 and ran for 187. He basically had a Jaden Daniels against Florida day in the state championship game. As a junior, he set the championship game record with 595 total yards. He broke Brock Berlin's Louisiana record for total offense in a state quarterfinal win. All the dude did with the ball in his hand was make plays at LCA. If you're a high school football fan, you know this. Not everyone locks into high school football or recruiting. You may have just heard us talking about Jawan Johnson in fall camp as a guy playing defensive back. He ran for 270 yards against Jesuit, a 5A Catholic League school in New Orleans. The quarterback ran for 270. It's not like he was playing 1A schools and just outclassing them. Dude was doing it against Jesuit and St. Thomas More and big boys in Louisiana high school football. He is a dynamic dude with the ball in his hands. Now, I don't know if Jawan, how seamlessly you can transition. You got to learn the plays and the terminology and all, but there's something to be said for the simplicity of saying, hey, you, number 8. By the way, so Jawan Johnson's changed his jersey number from 24 to 8, by the way. So now he's moving to offense. Because on defense, Major Burns wears 8. So, hey, 8, go stand next to the quarterback. They're going to snap him the ball. He's going to hand it to you. Just run. Run to the left side. And then let your athleticism take over. I'm oversimplifying it, but LSU's a 49-point favorite against Nicholls. This game is a total abomination. It's not worth playing. You know how I feel about it. Power teams playing FCS schools is a freaking joke. What happened to all the FCS schools last week against SEC teams with a glut of points, it's going to happen in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night. It's atrocious. Nobody wants to see it. But you want a reason to hang around in the second half after LSU puts up, 40 in the first or whatever they're going to score against Nicholls. Nicholls is a good team, by the way, but it's just a completely different level of competition. You want a reason to stick around? Caden Durham, Jawan Johnson. To watch those two guys run the football in the second half, let me see what that looks like. Oh, I'm interested. You better believe I'm interested. I'm not telling you Jawan Johnson is going to go, as Brian Kelly joked, win a Heisman, be an All-American, but I'm interested. I'm very interested to see what that looks like because that was a guy that wasn't going to make an impact on the defensive side of the ball as a true freshman, and he very well could make an impact on the offensive side because of your sheer lack of numbers at running back. Jawan Johnson, that is going to be one worth watching to see when he gets his first touch. And Brian Kelly said, he is going to play running back against Nicholls on Saturday. I can't wait to see it. Okay, it's After Further Review. Show up and brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Hey, if you're going to Tailgate for the game on Saturday, make sure you pop into any great retailer and grab these Bud Light aluminum bottles or the cans. They got the LSU logoed cans and bottles. Make sure you have tons of them at your tailgate. They got the 100 Year of Tiger Stadium logo as well. Awesome stuff. Our friends over at Mockler, great partners and the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Of course, the official beer of the Saints as well, and the official beer of AFR. If you're tailgating, game watching, home gating, whatever it is, make sure you got tons of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Football Friday, you know the drill. Phil Steele picking the biggest games of the college football weekend with us next. Stick around.
AFR.
Going to continue reminding you here for the next few days at least about Action Industries. It's turnaround season. Y'all know that. And our friends over at Action Industries have two turnarounds that are coming up here. They're 7/12s, 4 to 5 week turnarounds, working 7/12s. I get it, y'all. That's a lot. Working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I get it. But you hammer down for 4 or 5 weeks, you make that money, you're good for football season. Let's go. And great news as well, Action Industries was awarded a capital project that's a year-long project. It'll be 12 months. They'll be looking for 65 people working 5/10s, but we'll tell you more about that. In the meantime, right now, they're looking for 100 to 125 people to work these two turnarounds. So if you are a welder, a pipe fitter, boiler maker, crane operator, our friends over at Action Industries are looking for you. You can apply online or you can apply in person at the Highway 30 office in Geismar. Just ask for Zach. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Of course, it wouldn't be a Football Friday if we didn't visit with Phil Steele to preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. Phil's with us now. How are you, Phil?
You know, I am doing great, Matt. How about you, I have to ask?
Well, you know, great trip to Vegas, but you and I keep having this conversation every year where you ask me that, and I say, I had a great trip until the game started. And then, of course, LSU's lost now 5 consecutive openers, and I don't know how they're ever going to get off the schneid here, Phil. I mean, the next 2 years are Clemson, home and away, so it's not like it gets any easier.
Yeah, it's but at least we won with the under last week, huh?
we did it with the not that anybody really cares about my underplay with you, our underplay, but yes, we did, and it helped pay for some of my wife's let's say, the fun she had in Vegas. We'll put it that way. So
there
yes,
you go.
We had a good
There
time.
you go.
Let's get to the games this weekend, as we have a bit healthier slate of Power 4 games, although not too many bright, shining ones on the marquee, but I think we'll learn a lot this weekend. Phil, there are actually 2 tonight, Friday night. I'm curious if either of these move you one way or the other. BYU is at SMU, and then Duke is at Northwestern. Interesting that they're playing up there at Northwestern, the tiny stadium, as they renovate their, I guess it's like at their practice field or something. So two on the slate tonight. Either of those you have a strong feeling about?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Northwestern one. They're only laying 2 against Duke, and I think Northwestern's a better team. And really, even though it's a smaller stadium, I think it gives them a better home field edge because the crowd's right on top of them. It's right off the lake. And, in Ryan Field, sometimes the crowd would be half full, and it wouldn't have the same type of atmosphere. The team's excited playing there. They have a really good defense, and I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game. But I think Northwestern's a better team. Surprised they're only laying 2. I had the line up there about 7 in this one. So I definitely like Northwestern minus the 2 over Duke tonight. I think they're the stronger team and at home.
All right. Maybe a good early play to get this weekend started off right. Phil likes Northwestern laying 2 at home. Normally, we wait for the bigger games to the end of the segment, Phil, but there's no sense in burying the lead here. The biggest game of the college football slate is Texas going to the Big House. It's Texas, Michigan, of course, the defending champs. And the Longhorns are a touchdown favorite in this one. This feels like a pretty big game. It's going to be indicative of how these 2 seasons are going to go, Phil. What do you think about the Longhorns and the Wolverines?
Yeah, and, I think the spread probably would have been between 4 and 6. And then if you watch last week's games, Texas looked really good, and Michigan didn't look good. In fact, Michigan only led 16-10 late in the fourth quarter against Fresno, got a late touchdown, then the interception return for a touchdown for a misleading 20-10 final. I personally don't want to overreact to last week's games because, if you just watch last week, you're saying Texas, easy, let's go by double digits. But this is the defending national champ at home in the Big House as a touchdown underdog. So, of the games this weekend, this is probably one I'm going to stay away from, really not have anything on it. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I do think Texas wins. Texas is the better team coming in. They're the more experienced team. They've got the better quarterback play, better offensive line. I think Michigan might have a slight edge defensively, but I think Texas wins the game. We'll go there.
Texas, Phil, I think we talked last week, and I think you and I agreed, too, that maybe a look-ahead spot for Texas. Really impressive, the way that they beat Colorado State 52-0.
Yeah, I leaned with Colorado State plus the points in that one, Matt. And I tell you what, middle of the second quarter, there was no sense even watching the game anymore. Texas just blew them away.
Yeah, it was impressive. Arkansas is also going to play in that 11 a.m. Central window. This is a game on ABC. One of the really cool things about the new SEC ESPN contract is we're going to see a lot of games on ABC. LSU is going to play on ABC next week against South Carolina, but Arkansas got a big win. They scored 70 on Pine Bluff, but they ratcheted up the competition pretty significantly here. They're in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. The Pokes are a 10-point home favorite there at Boone Pickens Stadium. Phil, think Arkansas can keep it close?
Arkansas keep it close against anybody, can't they? Last year you look at Arkansas, they were a 4-win team, struggled throughout the course of the season, and yet they went on this 4-game road trip. Toughest 4 games anybody played in the country, all back-to-back-to-back, all away from home, at LSU, A&M, at Ole Miss, at Alabama. And what'd they do? They only lost LSU by 3. They only lost Ole Miss by 7. They only lost Alabama by 3. And in each of those games, they actually had a chance to win. And that was a poor Alabama team, or Arkansas team. Now, this year, they've got Taylon Green. I think Taylon Green is an improvement over a banged-up K.J. Jefferson from last year. Jaquindon Jackson at running back is an improvement over a Arkansas running back core that didn't even have Rocket Sanders most of the year. They've got Bobby Petrino calling the plays, a much improved offense, an improved defense as well. And they've proven throughout the years that they can play anybody tough, at least within a field goal or a touchdown. Now, I'm bullish on Oklahoma State. I think they're one of the best teams in the Big 12. They're tough at home, but I'll take Arkansas as a dog any day of the week, especially getting double digits.
Phil, I'm looking at it looks like this is – are you showing 10 right now?
Yeah, it moved. It moved today. I was watching it all day long. It actually had come down to 7.5 yesterday. Then this morning it was 8.5. Now I haven't had a look for injuries. I don't see an injury out there, but it's just a steady stream of money coming in. Maybe it's a market correction after some early money was on Arkansas. But I like the Hogs plus a 10 here.
Okay, so if you can get 10, take 10. But we're not necessarily looking if it's. Yeah, I'm showing 10 right now. I know it had moved. Okay, so I'm showing 10 right now. All right, Phil Steele's with us, of course, philsteele.com. Make sure you go to Phil Steele's YouTube channel. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour. It links through from philsteele.com. We'll tell you much more about that. Phil's got free selections there as well, and you can learn more about how you can become the most informed college football fan or college football bettor if that's where you fancy. Hey, let's jump into a cross-conference matchup, but an in-state rivalry there with Iowa and Iowa State for the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Always interesting. And how about Iowa's offense last week, Phil? Actually moving the football and scoring points. Iowa's a 3-point home favorite here. Who do you like, Hawkeyes and Cyclones?
Well, I think Iowa's the better team, and they're at home, and they've won 7 of the last 8 against Iowa State. So I like Iowa in the game. But I probably like the under better, even though it's low at 35 and Iowa put up 40 points last week. Let's keep in mind, Iowa only led 6-0 at the half. And while they had 3 touchdown passes to wide receivers, which is really something, because last year on the entire season they had 3 touchdown passes to wide receivers, they're taking on a much better defense this week in Iowa State. I think when these two get together, they both play conservative. It's a rivalry game with 2 really good defenses, and I think we're going to see that continue. You know, in the last 19 years that these two teams have met, Matt, the under is hit 17 times. That's 17-2 to the under, and generally the team that wins scores like 17 points or maybe 20 points tops. So I like the under 35 as my play in this one, and I do think Iowa wins the football game. But I'm bullish on both these teams this year. I think Iowa State could contend in the Big 12, and I think Iowa could surprise. I only have an Iowa underdog once all year at Ohio State. They could be an 11-1 team at the end of the year.
You did tell us before the season started that was one of your overplays on the total for the season win total, wasn't it? Was Iowa's one that you were bullish on?
Yeah, and it was low. It was like, I think it opened up at 8 on Iowa. So it was well, keep your eyes on the Hawkeyes this year. They've got the defense, they've got the special teams, and now they do have an offense. I think the offense is solid.
Baylor and Utah is also in that window, Phil. Of course, Dave Aranda might well be coaching for his job this year. A lot of people think Utah is going to win that Big 12 and be in the college football playoff. Utah's a 14.5-point home favorite here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Dave Aranda got any magic up his sleeves?
I think he does this year. I think Baylor's going to be a good play-on team for the majority of the season. In fact, he switched up his offense this year. I had a really lengthy conversation with Coach Aranda, and because the guy's just so intellectual, so deep. You can learn so much in the phone call. But he said the offense now fits his personnel better. I asked him about Richard Reese last year. Remember, he had those 2 kick return touchdowns, and he said that this offense will get him more in the open space, and he was the leading rusher in week 1. I also like DeQuan Finn at quarterback, coming over from Toledo. He's hitting 64%. Aranda's calling the defense himself. He's one of the most brilliant defensive minds out there. So Baylor's a play-on team, but I'm not going against Utah in Rice-Eccles Stadium. I mean, they've only lost at home twice in the last 5 years, and they got the must behind them, the student section. So I had Utah at 14. The line's 14.5. I think it's going to be a good game. Utah wins it at home by a couple of touchdowns, but I think both teams are going to impress this year.
Let me get one more here in this segment. Phil will come back, talk about the night games. Staying in the SEC, impressive win for Auburn in the opener. I think you and I talked about it. Hugh Freeze's team last year was so close. I mean, they threw up on themselves against New Mexico State, and then obviously they were 4th and 31 away from beating Bama. And a nice opening weekend win. They step up a bit in competition with Cal coming from Berkeley to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn's a 13-point home favorite. We should expect Auburn maybe to roll again this weekend?
You know, the biggest improvement for Auburn this year is at the wide receiver position. When I talked to Coach Freeze, he said that last year they were actually below average at wide receiver, and now we're well above average. They brought in the Freeze 4, they brought in some transfers, and it's made Peyton Thorne a much better quarterback. He's hitting 62% with a 4-0 ratio this year. They got Jarquez Hunter. That was an impressive performance, and they are much better than last year's squad. But this Cal team is an under-the-radar team. Justin Wilcox, last year when these two met, Cal actually had a 19-12 first down edge. Auburn was sort of fortunate to end up coming out with the win. And the best situation for Coach Wilcox is as an away underdog. Whenever you make him an away dog, he's 17-9 against the spread. In fact, Cal's been a non-conference away dog 7 times in the last 10 years. They've covered all 7. So I like Cal plus the points. I think they're a better team than most folks are giving them credit for.
Phil Steele is with us. We'll take a quick break. Phil will come back, and we'll talk about the night slate, including some a big one out there in Eugene. We'll talk about Tennessee, NC State at a neutral site in Charlotte. A lot to get to, and Phil Steele's here with us on this Football Friday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential. Think real estate. Think Darren James. Darren will get your home sold. Guaranteed. Love that catch line as well. Of course, when you're talking about Darren James, you're talking about the best. Not my opinion. It's objective fact. Wall Street Journal's list, the real trends, the top 1% of realtors in America just came out. Darren James, number 1 in the state of Louisiana, number 13 in America. Volume, number of homes closed. If you need to sell your home, why would you call anyone other than the realtor that quite literally sells more homes than anyone in Louisiana? It's Darren James. You can call Darren on his cell, 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, or you can go to agent225.com, the most user-friendly website in real estate. The market's ticking up, y'all. If you're thinking, as interest rates come down, you're thinking about selling, it's a great time to do it. Of course, you got to call Darren James or go to agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Of course, T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan Saturday night. As soon as the game goes final, LSU and Nicholls, you'll catch us there, Don Juan Cigar Bar, right there in Town Center for a little whiskey and wine. We'll see you. You can join us or you can stream it on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube or Facebook. Phil Steele's with us as he is every single football Friday right here to preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. All right, Phil, let's jump into the first SEC game on the slate, SEC on SEC with South Carolina in Lexington against Kentucky. Kentucky an 8.5-point favorite. Phil, I don't know what to make of these two teams, especially that South Carolina offense that was plumb awful last week against Old Dominion. So you make it make sense for me.
Yeah, I don't want to overreact to last week, but you're right. South Carolina did not look good offensively. I had big expectations for Lenora Sellers. Hit just 10 of 23 passes, no touchdowns. And they weren't great running the ball, only 3.1 yards per carry against Old Dominion. But I don't want to overreact. And here they're playing Kentucky. They're on the road for this game. I had originally Kentucky about a 3-point favorite. The line is up there at 8.5. I even saw it close to 10 earlier in the week. Kentucky, meanwhile, while they only put up 31 points last week, keep in mind they only played through mid of the third quarter, and then the game got canceled or terminated, I should say. And so they really were probably better than even the final score would indicate. Based on last week's results, you'd lean Kentucky, but I'm not going to overreact. I'm going to take South Carolina plus the points in this one.
All right, it's a big number. So, Phil, you said you had it around 3 is what you said? Did I hear you that?
I had it in the preseason at 3, yes.
Okay.
I moved it up to 6 after watching South Carolina's offense.
Okay, so if you get an 8.5, looks like you're getting a lot of value there. So Kentucky to win the game at home, but South Carolina with the points. Phil, maybe the game that I'm most interested in the night slate is Tennessee and NC State. Nico Iamaleava looked awesome in week 1, but again, you got to consider the opponent. I am curious what Grayson McCall and NC State will be. It's a neutral site game there in Charlotte, and Tennessee's a double-digit favorite there. They're laying 10. It feels big to me, Phil. I'd love to know your thoughts, Tennessee and NC State.
Yeah, and I think in this one your line value is clearly with NC State because of what happened last week. I mean, NC State was trailing West Carolina in the fourth quarter, put up three touchdowns late to pull out the win and win the game by 17. And Tennessee looked freaking unstoppable, 490 yards in the first half, 45 points, rolled to a 69-3 win with over 700 yards. Nico was fantastic, hitting 79% of his passes. But the matchup I'm most interested in here is if you look at Tennessee's secondary, they basically lost 10 of their top 11 guys from last year, and they didn't bring in, big-time recruits. They brought in some guys, but they were all from pretty much smaller schools. I think Grayson McCall will be able to exploit that secondary a little bit. So as good as Tennessee's offense looks, I think NC State's offense is going to look pretty good. I love Casey Concepcion, Jordan Waters at running back. I'm going to stay away from the side because the number's inflated based on last week, but I'm going to go with the total. I'm going to go with over in this game. I believe the total is 60. I think NC State will be able to move on Tennessee's secondary, and Tennessee can pretty much score on anybody. So I'm going to go with over 60 in that one.
All right. We'll see how that game plays out. I think that's going to be pretty fascinating telltale for both in their respective leagues. Now their seasons shape out. Yeah, I'm looking at 60.5 right now. Phil, a game that was once a Big 12 game is now a Big 12 game again. It's Colorado at Nebraska in Lincoln. They met in a non-conference game a year ago out in Colorado in Boulder. Colorado eked out a close one. Now it's in Lincoln, Nebraska, a 6-point home favorite. What do we think? Coach Prime, Coach Rule, how does it play out?
Yeah, I tell you, when you look at Colorado, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, LeJonte Wester, those are some primetime skill players they got there, among the best in the country. However, the rest of the team, I think you look at offensive line, big edge to Nebraska. Defense, massive edge to Nebraska. I mean, last year they only allowed 300, despite their losing record, only allowed 304 yards per game. They held UTEP to 205 in the opener. Meanwhile, Colorado gave up over close to 450 yards against North Dakota State. So defense, offensive line, and the last year, if you watch the game in the first 28 minutes, Nebraska really controlled the game, but they were done in by turnovers in that game, and then it turned into a blowout. I think at home, at night, you're going to see Nebraska play a completely different game. Dylan Raiola is a true freshman, but he doesn't look like a true freshman. He seems very composed, hits 70% of his passes. I like Nebraska to win this one by a couple of touchdowns.
All right, big win there for Nebraska. A few more I want to delve into here, Phil. Phil Steele's with us, of course, philsteele.com, STEELE, philsteele.com. Make sure you get to YouTube. Take the Phil Steele Plus Tour. More on that here in just a second. Phil, I was stunned to find this out earlier this week, that the series history with Oregon and Boise State, Boise is 3-0 all time against Oregon. I mean, of course, we remember the LeGarrette Blunt punch game. Oregon didn't look great last week against Idaho. They're a 3-touchdown home favorite against Boise. Phil, I mean, maybe this is just a sucker line that I'm going, man, give me Boise and all them points. What say you?
Yeah, I've got Oregon by 17. So yeah, if it's inflated up to 21, I think people are expecting a bounce back. And really, Oregon last week hurt itself with some key plays, going for it on fourth down a couple times in its own territory, getting stopped. They had a 31-10 first down advantage, a 487 to 217 yard edge, but just kept shooting itself in the foot. And as it was, they only led by one score, and they had the ball 4th and 7. They needed offsides to get them a 4th and 2, and they scored a touchdown on that play to give them a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter, or else Idaho could have come down and had the ball in their hands and been playing for the win. So not a great opener, but they were better than the score would indicate. And Boise, they trailed Georgia Southern in the fourth quarter, ended up winning it by 11. Explosive offense. Ashton Genty, 267 yards on the ground, 6 touchdowns. I do think they are the top Group of 5 team. They were my pick to make the playoff this year, and I think they will get there with a decent showing against Oregon. This will probably be the only game they lose all year. So I got the Ducks by 17. I would take the points in that one.
Phil, one more I want to get to. I'll get your thoughts on LSU and Nicholls. That's a giant line. I don't know that we need to delve too deep into it. But I am curious about Mississippi State going to Arizona State. Now, Mississippi State looked awesome last week offensively, and Jeff Lebby, everywhere he goes, offense follows. Blake Shapen, we got to talk to him at SEC Media Days. The Baylor transfer, really good player, had a nice weekend as well. They're going out to the desert. It's a late game. Mississippi State at Arizona State. The Sun Devils are a 5.5-point home favorite. Which way you lean here, Phil?
Well, I tell you what, last week I liked Wyoming's chances against Arizona State, and then that's another one of those games where Arizona State just blew them out. And if you look at Arizona State last year, their offensive line was just decimated by injury, and they got below-average quarterback play. So there was a lot of things that went wrong. Now, Sam Leavitt stepped in. The offensive line looked better, and Wyoming actually trailed that game 48-0, and then had 53 yards at the half, ended up getting a late garbage touchdown in the final minute to make it 48-7. Very impressed with Arizona State in the desert. I think it's going to be a rebuilding year for Mississippi State, personally. I think they finished towards the bottom of the SEC. First road trip here. I originally had Arizona State by 7. Both teams were impressive last week. I'm going to say Arizona State covers this one.
All right, Phil likes Arizona State by a touchdown. Phil, just maybe a thought. I think the line on LSU and Nicholls is 49. I don't know what you ever do with a game like this. I wish they just didn't play games like this, and hopefully we get to the point where we never have to see this anymore. But any observations from watching LSU last week or something you're maybe interested to see with LSU this week against Nicholls?
Yeah, I think LSU needs a feel-good game. And, the last 2 times they've lost an opener and an FCS opponent on deck, they blew them out both times. 72-10 against Grambling and 65-17 against Southern. Now, Nicholls, though, is a pretty good team. The Colonels last year won the Southland Conference. They got 17 returning starters coming back, and they had a good opening game. So they're not an easy team, but I had LSU winning this thing probably by 42 to 45 points, but I wouldn't go against LSU. They need to take it out on somebody, and even with South Carolina on deck, I think LSU looks good here. But as far as laying that many points in a game like this, no, you're right. There's better value out there.
No doubt. And the weather, Phil, in Baton Rouge and in Louisiana all this weekend is supposed to be rainy, so that may affect things as well. We'll see how that all plays out. It's just been nasty down here. All right, Phil, let's tell people about the Phil Steele Plus Tour. I love getting to pump this every single week. I've told people, go to YouTube, set your notifications, hit the bell so you're notified whenever Phil posts the Phil Steele Plus Tour so you can make those plays immediately. Let's tell them about it, Phil.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, if you go to philsteele.com right at the top at the blogs, You could click on it. It's the Phil Steele Tour with selections. Show you how to use Phil Steele Plus each week, but also give you some free plays. Last week, the free selections went 4-2. They're now 30-14 over the last 9 weeks. I've got 6 selections up there for you, absolutely free. And I also give you 4 quick hitters plus an NFL play. So you get a lot of action, and you get complete reasoning behind it. I'm not just saying, hey, I like this team. I show you why. So take the Phil Steele Plus Tour today. 30-14 over the last 9 weeks, giving out free plays.
Phil's just trying to put your kids through college. That's all he's trying to do over here, man. You got to go take the Phil Steele Plus Tour. Go to philsteele.com, STEELE, philsteele.com. You'll see the link right there. Of course, it's links you through to YouTube. Subscribe to his channel and make sure you hit the bell so you're notified whenever Phil posts so you can jump on those plays before the line movement happens. Phil, it's always a pleasure. We can't thank you enough for the time. Enjoy the rest of the football weekend, man. We'll talk next Friday.
And next Friday, we'll be talking about LSU off a win, huh?
We'll be talking about LSU off a win and the conference opener as well. So a big win in Columbia, South Carolina next week. We'll look forward to it, Phil.
Sounds good, Matt.
That is the one and only Phil Steele. This is After Further Review. Stick around on this Football Friday.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Y'all, go check out the Clegg's Facebook page if you haven't done it yet. They do an awesome job of updating when they have new things. And like Miss Teresa told me earlier this week, they've got all the shipments in for the pumpkins and the hay bales and the squash and the gourds and the scarecrows. I know it's rainy right now and that stinks, but we're still in the 90s, but we're getting to the middle of September now. Like, it's fall. Football's here. It's time to start thinking about your fall decor, your fall vegetable garden. Time to get Johnny Naylor's seeds in the ground. For those of you hunters, they've got Buck Busters there at Clegg's. Buck Busters, deer corn, rice bran. They've got it all. So if you're putting out those plots, now's the time. And Clegg's has you covered at all 4 locations. So get on by and see them at Clegg's Nursery and start decorating for fall. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques, Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner, fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday tailgate recipe of the week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 3 locations, or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
New imaging, and we got to update the new imaging because Chris is now has 4 locations because Central just opened. Thanks for the heads up on that, Coben. Anyway, Coben Leindecker back with us for another week. If you're new to the show, every Football Friday here at the end of Hour 1, we invite our friends from Chris's Specialty Foods in, share a tailgate recipe. Coben does an awesome job over there, primarily at the Millerville location. He'll bring in some goodies, and we'll give you some ideas. So we're glad to have you back. How are you, man?
Absolutely. I'm glad to be back. Another year of AFR, so I'm excited.
Just 3 letters, bro. They're hard to get sometimes. AFR, don't worry, I messed it up too. Brian Kelly messed up family, like I always say, because he was not actually speaking in a Southern accent. I maintain that all the time. He just tripped over a word. I'm serious. Anyway, all right. We always do like an eat the competition type concept. Play Auburn, we do some type of chicken dish. When it's Florida, you always bring in a gator.
Yeah.
You don't eat kernels unless they're kernels of corn spelled differently. So what are we doing this week for the home opener?
Yeah, so, first weekend back at LSU Stadium, so going to have a large crowd out there, so we wanted to make it easy on people. We have about 10 to 15 different platter options that are easy. Just call in and you can stop by, pick it up hot. So this is just one I grabbed today to bring. It's our freshly made smoked chicken salad sandwiches, cubed up, and then we have our smoked and fried chicken wings, and then our ribeye sliders.
All right, hold on. Those are fried. They're smoked then fried?
Smoked and then fried.
All right, so walk me through, for someone who would love to try that, who maybe fries their own wings at home, how do you smoke then fry your wings? Walk me through your process.
Yeah, so when you smoke them, you're going to do the full cook, so you can do 350 for an hour and a half, 2 hours, so you'll fully cook them. And then I like my wings crispy, so you just do a quick 1 minute fry or something at 350. Once they're crispy and golden brown, they're ready to go.
Okay, smoked and fried.
So you get the
wings.
smoky flavor, but you get the crispiness of the fry.
I love that. But the thing that I actually want to talk about is the thing you haven't talked about yet. What in the world is that burger?
Yeah, so that's our famous ribeye, our ribeye sliders. So we use the trimmings from our hand-cut fillets and ribeyes and grind it together and form our steak burgers, which are amazing.
That is ribeye and fillet in that ground beef.
It don't get better than that.
Ribeye and fillet burgers. Oh my God! Hey, if someone all right, let's say if I want to make a ribeye burger at home. Like, am I just coming to Chris's, buying a ribeye, cutting a portion of it? Like, what are you doing to ground up that meat? Like, because then you're just eating like a fillet or a ribeye on bread, which I don't want to do.
Yeah,
right?
No, you would have to have equipment. You'd have to have a grinder and certain equipment to do that.
All right, so
that's why we make it easy.
Right,
for you.
You're not doing this at home, right?
No.
But if you want to like have steaks or something like that at home, Chris's is obviously great. Got 4 locations now, like we've talked about. There's Millerville. There's Lakeview in New Orleans. Central, where's the Central location?
So it's on Wax Road, like 30 seconds from the high school, in the new shopping center with Las Palmas and Johnny's Pizza. So it's right next to Central High School.
So I think everybody that lives in Central knows Central, so they know where that is.
Yes.
Right? And if you don't live in Central, you're not going to Central to go to Chris's. Understood. So it's the one in Central. And then the one I'm particularly excited about, y'all opened up on Highland as well. So the one on Airline
has moved.
Relocated. So it was on Airline in Prairieville, and y'all relocated to Highland right there. By the interstate, kind of across from Rufino's.
Right across from Rufino's.
Yeah. So I live not far from there, so I'm pretty excited to pop in. I haven't gone in and seen y'all yet. I need to. But what's different about that one? Because you're serving lunch there, but you weren't serving lunch at the other locations,
right? Yeah. So
right?
this is the first time we've opened up a restaurant portion of Chris's where we have all of our Louisiana authentic food from the meat market. We bring it over and serve it hot and fresh for lunch. So it's been great.
So give me you said you also have like daily specials?
Yeah. So the thing we kind of do different than everyone else is we have a set menu that we carry every day. But something we do different is we run a chef special, and it changes every single day. So like today, we had a great day. It was Maine lobster rolls, and we sold out. It was awesome. So that's the cool part. We do something different every single day, along with keeping a set menu.
So our new parish office, the Parish Construction Roofing Office, is off of Highlandia on Lavo Lane. So we're 2 minutes from the new Chris's.
Right
like
there.
it's right there. Does that explain why when I look at our company credit card statement, there's Chris's every single day? There's Chris's charges.
Theriot's at least in there once a week.
Is that Theriot over there eating lunch every day at Chris's and putting it on the company credit card? Is that what that is?
That's him.
I understand. So I'm guessing Theriot had Maine lobster roll for lunch today.
Absolutely.
Well, I literally haven't eaten, but I am about to eat one of those burgers in a little bit. Coben Leindecker's in studio with us. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Actually, not far from Chris's. They're on Airline. If you're going down Highland, you make the left on Airline. It's right there on the left. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Y'all, they still got the Labor Day specials going on right now. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, hey, they just flipped it, actually. The red tag sales event's going on. About 3.9% or 1,000 right now on 2024 Taos. That's the compact SUV, the Cross Sport, or the Volkswagen Atlas. If you want the full-size SUV, they got something, no matter what make or model you're looking for, they got you over at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, what are you throwing on the grill tomorrow for you? You watching the game? You going to the game or watching?
No, staying at home. I'll probably I like doing, if I have all day, it's a late game, so I'll probably smoke some beef short ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a recipe for beef short ribs.
So that's an all day thing. So I'll probably put them on when I wake up, 8 or 9 a.m. I'll throw them on there at 225 and just let them go for freaking 8 hours, and I'll put a dry rub on there that I like, and then halfway through I'll wrap them in some tin foil. Add some juice in there to keep it moist.
What kind of juice you use?
Apple juice.
Use apple juice.
Yes.
What's another popular one? People use citrusy juices?
Any juices, orange juice, apple, anything with a lot of acid in it.
I feel like I hear a lot of like the acidic, like
it'll
pineapple.
Eat it up. Any fruit juice.
Let's go, man.
Yeah.
Dude, can I come over and eat?
Absolutely, brother. If you're not going to the game, come on.
I'm not going to the game, but I'll be at Don Juan with T-Bob babysitting him. Unfortunately, I won't. But save me some, all right?
Got you.
Coben Leindecker, 20 seconds. What do you think about the game tomorrow?
The line's like 49, 50.
49.
I mean, I think LSU's going to come out a little pissed off from last week, so I expect them to cover pretty easy.
You think they cover 49 easy?
I think they're going to be mad and put it on them.
I hope so, man. Look, LSU's going to win easily. I hate these games, man.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see this, but it's a good opportunity to go party, to tailgate, to have a good time, watch LSU get a win, and hopefully start building toward a game in about a month or so with Ole Miss coming in that we're all going to be really excited about. Thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Chris's Specialty Foods. That's chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Back-to-back S's on the website, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. All right, Theriot's in studio next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well over at Relief Windows. And actually not far from all the area of town we're just talking about is the Relief Windows showroom and corporate headquarters. If you go south on Airline into Prairieville, you cross Highway 42, about a quarter mile on the right, you can't miss it. Love telling you about Relief Windows because, listen, windows are a commodity. There's a lot of different people that can sell you a window. But what about a high-quality premium product, like their Geldwin wood windows that come with a lifetime warranty? You heard me right. Wood windows with a lifetime warranty. For some, that feels like a punchline. At Relief Windows, it's reality. So you live in a neighborhood that requires you to have wood windows. Install them once, you're done forever. That's Relief Windows. That's the difference. It's always the quality of the people that come to your house, the quality of the install. They measure twice to install once. They're just the best. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Packers and Eagles play their season opener in Brazil tonight. Running back Saquon Barkley playing his first game for the Eagles. ESPN's Ryan Clark.
Having that opportunity with A.J. Brown on one side, Devontae Smith on the other, and a pass game that can be explosive, this could be Saquon Barkley's best year as a pro. And if we see that from him, I think you see a resurgence in who the Philadelphia Eagles were toward the end of last season.
Ryan Clark on Get Up. The Steelers will sign tight end Pat Freiermuth to a 4-year, $48 million deal. Dolphins corner Jalen Ramsey will get a 3-year extension. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports it'll be worth $24 million. Ramsey has a calf injury, but the team is hopeful he'll play in Sunday's opener against the Jaguars. Titans tight end Josh Wiley will be one of the first players to wear a Guardian cap in the regular season against the Bears Sunday. He's had 2 concussions in less than a year. From the NBA, free agent center Tristan Thompson will get a 1-year deal to stay with the Cavaliers.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, gonna fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload. Get the boy.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers
and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. Oh, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Bruh.
Yeah, bruh.
How are you, man? Football Friday.
It is, man. Went out to campus today, bro. The place was buzzing. Like there was an energy, just a excitement, good feeling. You know, as I'm riding around, had to go pick some stuff up at Ops. It was a good feeling today.
I wonder what it would be like to have to go pick some stuff up at Ops. I had to go pick some stuff up at Ops. Muse, you ever have to go pick some stuff up at Ops?
I have not ever had to go do that.
Paul, you ever go pick some stuff up at Ops?
No, I don't.
That's how you know when you're important.
So when I was leaving,
go pick some stuff up at Ops.
I was leaving. I saw my guy Jack Ruckert. Shout out Catholic High, shortstop. On his official visit.
Let's go.
On his official visit. Shout out Jack. I see you, big dog.
Remember the national champion Catholic High baseball team?
That says a shortstop.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a Tiger.
Wait,
when you said Ops, did you mean football Ops?
Yeah, they're walking around, touring everything. Football Ops.
Pretty smart,
the boys
man.
in there eating. And
you bring all the recruits for all the other sports in on home football weekends.
Well, Beth was in the trophy room with some softball recruits as I was walking up. So, man, it was a real cool vibe out there. I'm fired up for this football season. And then just, hopefully we can beat the hell out of Nicholls.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Looking forward to our guest picker next hour also.
Oh, we got a big guest
picker. A big one.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the biggest name ever to come out of Nicholls.
Well, the issue with it was earlier, when you Google or when you start to research this guest picker thing, because I've done it for a while, and
let's pump the brakes.
Okay, I did it one year for a little while.
Okay,
I did it 1 year for half the season.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and you've helped me with it, but there's certain ways to figure out like who to get. Generally, the internet helps. At least gives you an idea.
Notable alumni on the Wikipedia page,
and it helps. And so then you scan it, and boy, I typed in the Nicholls State notable alumni, and I was like.
Aside from some state senators from the Bayou, it's
there was some slim pickings on the that the Colonels have produced. But my guy Bobby Dickerson, shout out. He just texted me back. He can't come on.
Oh man,
Nicholls State Hall of Fame, because he's coach. He's the bench coach for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Awesome.
And so Bobby couldn't make it, and then that was pretty much it. Well, Mike Moeller.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, Mike.
You know.
Yep, got him.
And let's see who else was on there. Punky Brewster.
No, that would be Punky Johnson.
Or same thing.
No, not Punky Brewster. Punky Johnson.
Same thing.
I did shoot my shot for Punky Johnson, who's on. For those who don't know, comedian who's on Saturday Night Live.
Nobody knows because Nicholls doesn't produce.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, how was the rest of your week? By the way,
week was good.
Yeah, I didn't get to see you last Friday.
Very busy.
Because I was in Las Vegas. You were here.
Yeah. Very busy.
Didn't get to see you, but we talked. Did the pick'em.
Yeah, very busy week. A lot of new things happening in my life right now. Houston's in college. He's winning in college and frat right now. So
what does that
he's
mean?
Doing that. He's just winning the day.
Winning the day.
Yeah, to win college. That's his goal.
He wants to win college.
And
That
so,
babe.
but yeah,
Hugh?
the football thing. Starting plus work plus so it's hard. The way I can keep up now is social media.
Yeah.
Or I'll rely on friends like you who actually know what's going on. I can say, hey man,
what's up?
Yeah, just give me
Fill
the
me in.
lowdown.
Give me the Cliffs Notes. Yeah.
But I have been scouring social media to just learn about this LSU football team.
Okay.
And I've got some observations.
Okay, I'd love to hear your observations
Here we go.
about the LSU football team.
So this is it's not necessarily to the team. It's more or less to those that were putting out their thoughts on the team. So it's
like preseason predictions?
No, just like the game that just happened. Dear stupid ass LSU fans.
Got it. That makes sense. Yep, got him. Look at this bottle of Evermore. 64 ounces.
That's a big one.
I'm going to drink this bottle of Evermore while you do your letter. Go ahead.
There should be a test that you must pass in order to publicly pull for the LSU Tigers.
Okay.
No matter the sport, y'all idiots seem to think that just because your Facebook scream name is TigerBait69 and your last post on Tiger Droppings got 9 likes and only 1 dislike, that makes you some sort of frickin' LSU sports expert.
Got it.
Y'all call players and coaches by their nicknames. This one cracks me up.
Oh man, that's the one that's always tough for me.
You do that as if you know them.
When adult humans are calling college kids nicknames, I can't do
Jets.
it. Can't do it.
You know, Jets had a great game. Shut up.
Can't do it. I couldn't do Honey Badger back in the day. I refused to call Tyrann Mathieu Honey Badger back in the day. Couldn't do it.
When you got the mic at TJ Ribs for the coaches show, you called Coach Kelly BK. As if you two were hanging out in the frickin' hot tub.
Oh, man.
It's a perceived closeness to the program that y'all feel entitled to just because you spent half your paycheck on some purple Jordan 1s, a parking lot in Seba, and a Tommy Hodson jersey. So you're in.
You know, and if you're going with the Hodson jersey, it's probably a purple jersey, and you know I don't like the purple jerseys either.
Look, I love the passion for the program. I love the dedication to the university, my university.
Yeah.
It's what makes LSU the most badass college sports program in the country. So I love y'all for that. But I can't stand y'all when we lose. It's friends of mine who I previously thought had some sense that totally turn into morons when an LSU football player makes a bad play. Football is obviously the worst, but baseball is pretty bad too. I mean, of course, y'all know more than Jay Johnson knows about the lineup and who should play where. You led your JV team in walks in 1992 at Minden High School.
That a babe. Shout out to Minden. What's the Minden mascot?
If it wasn't for the arm injury that you had, you'd have been a Tiger. You even went to camp and Coach Skip Bertman told you he wanted you to come play for him.
You took the picture where Skip was kneeling next to you with his arm.
The story is the same every freaking time. Shut up. Nobody believes that crap.
You should have seen my horizontal break.
Doesn't mean that you know what you're talking about. So stop saying the stupid stuff on social media.
Oh, God.
After a tough loss last week to a much improved USC team, you'd have thought it was a blowout. If you only scanned social media, which I kind of did, looking for results of the game, you would have thought that Brian Kelly can't recruit. You'd have thought that the offensive line is overrated, the defense still sucks, and play calling was terrible. You also would have thought that our guys were soft and they don't want to hit anybody. And then the one that happens every time is the officials missed calls all night. They obviously wanted USC to win the game. And it's folks that I think or thought were reasonable people. They just turn into these super fan homers in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I know. Welcome to my professional existence for the last 20 years.
It normally goes something like this. Someone makes a dumb post like, here we go again, we still can't play defense. Then the people that were scared to make the dumb post originally, but will jump on in the comments, say something like, yeah, BK sucks. Or, Nuss ain't the answer. That's one. I saw that quite a bit.
Nuss ain't the answer?
Nuss ain't the answer.
Nuss. He threw for 300 yards.
Nuss. Like they know him, though, but Nuss.
Nuss.
As if they have some sort of insider information. Just because your cousin's girlfriend works at Ops and her friend is one of the student trainers, like you got it figured out.
They got the insight, bro.
Keep your stupid comments to yourself and be pissed without subjecting everyone else on your feed to that stupid garbage. Sincerely, Ryan.
Oof. Boy, do I live that all the time.
I've had enough of it, man. I'm just going to stop unfriending people.
You're going to start unfriending?
I'm going to start unfriending people.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
It's not a bad idea.
Just maybe during, it's baseball season too.
It's all the time.
Yeah, it's all year. I can be friends with them in the summer.
Maybe. But then they're riding their grocery getter to 38 with their bumper sticker, and you hate that too.
Stupid pictures with the white linen shirt and the khaki shorts.
Even though you're a 38 guy now.
Big 38.
Don't even try to deny
Actually, I am.
You are a big 38 guy. All right, it's after further review. We'll do Kick Rocks next. Stay here.
After further review.
Brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. Did you ever figure out your staffing issue over there at T3?
I have an ever-evolving staffing issue.
You need to call Glow Resources. If you're having trouble finding the right people for your job to be efficient, you need Glow Resources. Listen, Glow Resources, their corporate headquarters are here in Baton Rouge, and they're awesome, by the way. If you ever just walk in the building, you'll understand it. They do a great job of creating culture. It's a fun work environment. Look at their social media as well. You'll see it. Even Jareth Nake, the president, CEO of the company, the owner, founder, participates. That's where it all starts, is with Jareth, who's awesome. But they're so good at what they do. Yes, based in Baton Rouge, offices all over the country, and they help place employees, both skilled blue-collar workers, their professional placement division, basically any office job, all over the country and all over the world. If you're having trouble finding the right people, let Glow Resources help. GLO, glowresources.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Rusty McCullough on the text line. So what about Ladarius Webb? You can keep that going, Muse. You need a Nicholls alum.
He was considered.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy. Like, you can't just say, "Oh yeah, hold on, let me call him real quick." You know, like it takes some digging.
Greg Lehman said T-Bob spilled an entire coffee today in studio. I think a suspension is the only option you have to enforce the no liquids in studio policy.
I mean, If you think that's the worst thing that's been like, it's full on like champagne and beers and everything else in here.
And it's all them too.
From that
it's
crew.
all the morning show.
Yeah. Coffee's that's nothing.
Well, I will say this: I don't know who did it, but maybe it was because they spilled. At least they cleaned the desk today. And I did have this conversation a while back because when they would do champagne shenanigans, for those who don't know, on Off the Bench, the morning show on Fridays, Rivers will come in, they'll do champagne shenanigans, which I think is great. I mean, I've fully endorsed that. I mean, they do a great job. But they would leave like ring marks all over the set from like having the bottle or the cups and all that stuff. And I say, look, if you like the porters in the building, like it's not their job to come clean up your crap. Like wipe down the desk. You know, that's gross. Don't do that. And they have. Like it's very clean today. They did a good job. Maybe they only cleaned it because of the coffee spill. I don't know. Tony Z said T-Bob's Uncle Billy Bob, and he's got an Uncle Billy Bob. Did you know that?
Wait, what?
T-Bob's Uncle Billy Bob and Auntie Bobby Joe are alums of Nicholls, classmates of mine, Tony Z said. So T-Bob has an Uncle Billy Bob and an Auntie Bobby Joe. That's so good.
Is that a real thing?
It has to be.
We got to get confirmation.
All right, it's
wait. What's the aunt's name?
Bobby Joe?
I can't be real.
Billy Bob and Bobby Joe. And then there's Bobby J, which is Bobby Joseph, which is T-Bob's dad.
Right.
So T-Bob's name is Bobby Joseph Hebert III. So Bobby, his dad, is Bobby Joseph Jr. His grandfather was Bobby, right? So Bobby J, T-Bob. Apparently there's Bobby Joe and Billy Bob.
So there's another Bobby J.
There's a lot of Bobs.
Does T-Bob have a boy?
He does, Quad Bob.
What does he call him?
Quad Bob.
He does, doesn't he? That does not would not surprise me.
I don't know if it's going to stick. I hope it does. Because he's Bobby Joseph IV. Like I hope Quad Bob sticks.
That would be a phenomenal name.
Quad Bob.
There's not another.
There is no other Quad Bob in the world.
There is no other one in the world.
Find me someone named Quad Bob. I love it.
What's his middle name?
Joseph. Yeah, Bobby Joseph Hebert.
Quad Bob Joe.
Yeah, Quad Bob. How did this all become about T-Bob and his family? I don't know. But thanks to Tony Z for sharing about Billy Bob and Bobby Joe.
I like name. I like stuff like that.
You know really good. That's good. If you don't have a good name, you know what you can do? You can kick rocks. Oh, it's supposed to be.
It's time to kick rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rocks.
Presented by Ruckus.
Ooh.
Kick rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge, or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
They can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
I like the new voice.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good.
Like the new voice.
Her name is Amanda.
Amanda's good. Good voice, Amanda. Travis Kelce went with the Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah, man, come on.
He went with the Lloyd Christmas.
What are we doing here, man?
Boosie fade in the back into a V, like bad haircut.
Boy, that was
bad choice from Mr.
I mean, Kelce. Like, what did you go? You sit down in the barber chair and you say what?
You say, hey, man, screw my hair up for me, would you?
Make me look like an idiot.
See how stupid you can make me look,
See, here's the
Joe
thing.
Barber?
I'm bald, very bald. I would rather my look than that look. And now I'm not saying, like, Travis Kelce is a world-class athlete. He's independently wealthy. He's dating the most famous entertainer in the world. He's got a lot going on, right? So this isn't shaded. Clearly, he's doing a lot right in his life. This is a poor decision.
That's something he's not doing right in his life.
Like, as I've told you before, as someone who doesn't have the option and opportunity to grow hair anymore, I always sort of take offense at people. Like whenever Joe Burrow did the Slim Shady thing. Like, why, when you have the opportunity, you're slinging it in the collective faces of people like me who don't have that option when you're making yourself look stupid.
Do you think when he got up from the chair, he said, oh, yeah, this looks good?
I wonder if he did it himself. He probably just did it himself. That's that bad.
Or could it be a dare? Hey, I bet you.
No,
I bet you won't go out there on opening night with this haircut.
I think he's just saying, like, let me see how dumb I can make myself look to make idiots on radio in Baton Rouge talk about it.
Football, professional football, NFL football in Brazil, where you may get shanked, can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
If you can't walk down the street with a cell phone in your hand, you probably shouldn't go there. If you don't want the players to leave their hotels for fear that they may be mugged or whatever, then you probably shouldn't go there. And on top of that, I don't know how you're going to grow the game globally in Brazil anyway. Like,
what do you mean? It's South America.
I understand what it is, but we're not talking about London,
Brazil,
or Paris. You know,
they're nearby.
Okay, doesn't mean you should go there.
So you should just ignore an entire population base in a bordering country?
100%, so you don't get shot in the face. Yes, you should. You should ignore it.
I got news for you, Coach. There's lots of places in this country, in this city, you could go and get shot.
Well, here's the thing. You already got to deal with places like Cleveland in the NFL. You got to go to Chicago. Good chance you're getting shanked in Chicago, too. You got to go to L.A. Good chance you're getting shanked in L.A., too.
You take a wrong turn in the French Quarter at a certain time of day.
You take a wrong turn. So why are we just trying? I mean, like, it's dumb. Bad idea. Go to Australia. Let's go to Australia. Big place.
Do that, too?
Yeah, no, let's go there. It's more safe.
Pretty, too.
The NFL kickoff rule, where they stand right by each other and hold hands and play Red Rover, and then kick it, can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
I disagree with you, man. I love it.
Glanced up last night, saw him. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? What are we doing?
What are they doing?
And it was really, I didn't like it.
But you know why I like it?
Why?
I'll tell you why I like it. Because the new kickoff rule has introduced kickoffs back into the NFL, man. Last year, 80% of kickoffs were touchbacks. Now with this new rule, in the preseason, we saw that number inverted. 80% were returned. You actually have the play back in the game again. Yeah, it looks goofy with them standing 5 yards apart because it's not what we're used to. But my goodness, it's nice to have a kickoff, like a return back in the game, isn't it?
I like the returns back in the game.
That's my point.
Agree. But we couldn't have come up with something else, like maybe push the kicker back. Don't let the people move until the guy touches the ball.
It's not about that. What they're trying, well, that's what they're doing. You can't move until they touch the ball. That's why they did it. You can't move until they touch the ball.
Nobody can move. Okay.
And that's they've tried to eliminate a 40-yard sprint collision.
I like that.
Yes, we all do, but that's also been one of the most dangerous plays in the sport. Now, I hear the people out there, I'll put a skirt on them. Like, whatever. That's not happening. They're not going backwards. They're trying to make the game safer where they can. This is a compromise that at least gets kickoffs back into the game. So I like it.
All right.
You can kick rocks.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe you might have turned.
Did I convince you?
I do like kickoffs.
Me too.
I like returns.
I
don't like kickoffs. I like returns.
Yes.
I like high steps.
And you know what you had none of in the NFL?
Yeah.
Returns. They just booted it through the end zone. Take the ball to 25.
Can't get through the uprights. These guys are good.
Might as well.
Caitlin Clark can get a hug from me.
Okay, giving her a hug. I like
Caitlin Clark has figured this thing out.
She has kind of figured it out.
She's throwing up triple doubles.
That didn't take long.
Totally transformed.
Remember how bad she was at the beginning?
I find myself watching the games. Macy was getting a lesson the other day, and the coach had to hurry up and leave to get home to watch Caitlin Clark play. I'm like, you wouldn't have heard that 4 years ago.
You wouldn't have heard that 4 months ago.
Last year, 4 months ago. Anyway, I want to give Caitlin a hug. Good job. Well done.
Is it?
That's it.
All right, brought to you by Ruckus, Ruckus103.com, RUKUS, Ruckus103.com. Oh, look what I have on today.
What do you got?
What did you have last 2 weeks ago when you said your shoe game beat my shoe game? I assure you, you're not beating me today.
Oh, man, I like those too.
Check them, dog.
The Voodoos.
Those are the Voodoos, the New Balance Voodoos from Ruckus. Love them.
Yeah, you got me. I'm real basic today.
Love that paisley design on the interior of the wooden box coffin on the sole.
You're not going to see many of those right there walking around town.
No, you're not. I got very lucky. Our friends at Ruckus are awesome and scored one of those. Those aren't available, by the way. That was just
you can't get those.
That was a special release. But you can go to Ruckus103.com, RUKUS, Ruckus103.com. They did a Nike SB Dunk restock. I need to go buy
Saw that, yeah.
I'm a little bummed because there's a couple of pair in there that I really, really, really like, and I think they're sold out again. I just missed. That's why you should sign up for the email list. right? So then you'd be the first to be notified so you can get them before they're gone. And even though I am on the email list, I just didn't check it. They were gone when I went to go get them. So Ruckus103.com. Kick rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Baton Rouge and Lafayette, by the way. So actually right across the street from our Lafayette affiliate, Delta Media, their office in downtown Lafayette. Like Ruckus is across the street, and I mean, 10 steps down. Hey, the Saints-Panthers final injury report is out. Of course, Saints and Panthers will kick off the NFL season Week 1, Sunday in the Dome, noon. Saints are a 4-point favorite in that ball game. I do like the Saints to win. I hate the spread in this game just because as bad as the Panthers were a year ago and might be, I just don't know that I love laying 4 points in a divisional game. Saints have won 5 consecutive openers. That's the longest streak in the NFL, for what it's worth. Here's your injury report. So 4 players are out for the Saints. Jalen Ford, Dallin Holker, DeMarco Jackson, Colin Saunders. No question, no surprises there. 3 players are listed as questionable. Willie Gay, questionable with a back injury. Nick Saldiveri, questionable with the calf. Both have been limited this week. And then A.T. Perry, again, did not practice on Friday. So Perry participated on Wednesday, and then on Thursday was a no-show because of the hand injury, and then did not play participate Friday as well. And Dennis Allen was asked after practice about A.T. Perry, who apparently was in a cast. It was Kat Terrell who asked the question.
A.T. Perry had a cast on his hand. Did he break his hand or something like that?
He has a hand injury. He doesn't have a broken hand. I wasn't even aware that he was in a cast.
He didn't seem too fired up by that question. Hey, if you ever get your hand in a cast, is there any reason you would put your hand in a cast if it's not broken? I'm not saying he's lying. I don't know. Like, would you put your hand in a cast for something other than a break? Would you put your hand in a cast for like a ligament strain or something? I don't know.
I mean, they do soft casts for like ankles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if if it was like a real like molded on your hand cast thing, no. I mean,
if he had one of those, if he has one of those, I haven't seen a photo.
You're
not catching a. You can play some positions. You can play defensive line, linebacker, physical, aggressive around the line of scrimmage. As a receiver, you need your hands to catch the football.
Most important.
Yeah, it's the most important thing. I would say it's the most important.
The better question is, how does your head coach not know that the receiver's got a cast on his hand?
Might be playing coy. Maybe just hadn't gotten the report today. I'll give him a pass on that. And I'm not one that's one to give Dennis Allen passes on much. But we will get a full prediction on Saints-Panthers 1 hour from right now. Hey, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels, they are just the best. You want to get that Lee Michaels experience. It's not often that people go and buy jewelry. It's not often you go buy a diamond ring, is it?
No.
You might do it once. Hopefully you only have to do it once. You buy your wife, your fiance a diamond ring, and that's will last forever until you buy the upgrade, which you could do at Lee Michaels as well. Maybe you've been married, get that 10, 15, 20-year anniversary. Maybe upgrade. Trade in the old diamond, get a new, bigger diamond. You can always do that at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com, 9 locations, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, Shreveport, and online at LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. I want to get to, we're going to get to Ask Ryan in 15 minutes. We've got questions for Theriot. You can ask anything about anything. So get your questions in for Theriot. Email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. So we'll get to Ask Ryan in about 15 minutes. We do have our celebrity guest picker in 30 minutes from right now. I know you worked really hard to get the celebrity guest picker.
Yep.
Had to search far and wide to find our celebrity guest picker today.
We got him. We got it done.
Paulie, how did our picks go last week, by the way? Did you make a graphic with the picks from last week?
Yes, but I don't have it ready.
Okay. I jumped the gun a little bit on. I know we're coming up in 30 minutes, but I'm curious because we only picked 5 games because there really weren't many good games. Like I wasn't going to have, Tennessee or Chattanooga. You know what I mean? So we only picked 5 games last week with you, me, and Russ. This week we'll have a full slate. We'll pick our full 10 games, and we'll do that moving forward. So do you have it now?
Pulling it up right now.
Oh, he's pulling it up right now. Okay. We'll come back to it. Or do you have it? Okay, there it is. All right, Russ Mitchell went 4-1. Boy, that's such an old picture of Russ, too. I went 4-1. You went 4-1. So we all missed on LSU.
Yeah.
Were all of our picks the exact same?
The exact same.
We all picked.
All 5.
We all picked the exact same, and we missed on LSU. All right. I can't believe everybody picked Notre Dame. Because in our staff picks, I was the only one on the staff that picked Notre Dame, which was a big differentiator for me. I also had Miami.
What I did for the picks, I was just going to pick whatever Russ picked. I was picking after Russ.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm just being real. I didn't really know a whole lot about any of it. I just picked whatever Russ picked.
Got it. Okay. We'll have our full picks in 30 minutes from right now. Okay, quick break. The number one player in America for 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Massive announcement today. This kid from St. Augustine, New Orleans. And by the way, he ain't from St. Augustine, New Orleans no more. That's a little hint. We'll get to it next, AFR.
After further review.
You know where the LSU football Tigers are, like right now?
They're at a hotel.
Which hotel?
They're at the Renaissance.
Give him a ding, please, if you would. They are at the Renaissance Hotel.
Yep.
Or if they're not there now, they will be in a little while. So, yeah, it's Friday before a home game, which means the LSU football Tigers move their entire operation to the Renaissance Hotel. The entire team, coaching staff, support staff, they all stay at the Renaissance the night before the game. They have their team meals there, their position group meetings there, their prayer service there. It's all there. So at the Renaissance, when I tell you they can host whatever event you have going on, I mean it. If they can host the LSU Tigers and have team meals for hundreds of people or breakout rooms for position groups, they can host whatever you have as well. So check them out at the Renaissance Hotel.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Feeling good! Football Friday, y'all. Ask Ryan here in about 10 minutes from right now. Man, there was some really interesting news that broke on Friday afternoon. And full disclosure, this is something that has been rumored for quite some time. Shea Dixon visits with us every Tuesday here on AFR, and we have a recruiting segment. And I've asked Shea this numerous times over the course of the last year thereabouts, and it's about Jakeem Stewart reclassifying. So if you're not familiar with who Jakeem Stewart is, he is the number one player in the country for the class of 2026. He's a defensive lineman out of St. Aug in New Orleans, and 3 of the 4 recruiting services rank him as the number one player, any position, the number one overall player in America for 2026, meaning he's going into his high school junior season. For some reason, 24/7 ranks him the 12th best player in the country. Everyone else has him as the number one overall player. So in the composite, he's the number one player in Louisiana, the number one defensive lineman in the country, but the number 4 overall player in the composite. But 3 of the 4 rank him as the number one player in the country, any position. He's from reserve, goes to St. Aug, and the on-3 RPM gives LSU a 91.1% chance of landing Jakeem Stewart. This is a major, major national-type prospect that LSU is recruiting. Well, on Friday, the Jakeem Stewart reclassifying conversation took a pretty significant step forward. So ESPN broke the news that Jakeem Stewart is no longer enrolled at St. Aug. And as I understand it, and in full disclosure, I was making a lot of calls yesterday trying to get this confirmed. And I couldn't get it confirmed, so I had to tip ESPN. They got him on the record to say it. That Stewart wouldn't... Some schools don't allow you to graduate early.
Okay.
Like, I know Catholic in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
My next year, Blaine Bradford is a 5-star number 1 safety in America. He ain't going to be there for spring ball, assuming he commits to LSU or wherever he goes, because you can't graduate early at Catholic. So apparently St. Aug doesn't allow you to graduate early. So he wouldn't be able to be on campus. And then also, what if they don't allow him to reclassify?
Mm-hmm.
So then he has to go somewhere that does, right? So that he didn't say this directly, but what Jakeem Stewart told ESPN is that he'll be enrolled in a new school Monday or Tuesday. And the thought is, and it said it could be somewhere in-state or potentially out-of-state. So if you're thinking out-of-state, you're thinking like an IMG or something.
He's going
like
to Dunham,
that.
I heard.
So it's not going to Dunham. But could it be IMG, somewhere like that? You know, one of those like preparatory schools, right? Or he's from reserve. Well, the school in his backyard is East St. John. So does he go to East St. John? Does he go to an IMG? I don't know. I don't know where. I don't have any insight. I don't know where he's going. I don't know what he's going to do. But the quote that Stewart gave ESPN about his decision here and about making the decision to leave St. Aug, he said, quote, St. Augustine has helped me become a way better man than I was going in there. It taught me a lot of things. My plan is to find a school that I'm looking for to really just help with my decision. A place that will better help me make the decision I'm trying to make. Well, he didn't go into what that decision is, but I think we're all connecting the dots that his decision is he wants to reclassify and probably enroll early, which means that after his junior football season, he would graduate and go join whatever football program he's going to commit to and go through spring ball.
Right.
Which means not only would you be graduating early, but a year and a semester early, right? Like you'd be going into like at midway through your high school junior year, you'd be going to college. I don't always look. Every kid can make their own decision. He's 6'6", 275. He's a massive guy. What?
That's huge.
He's huge. 6'6", 275. He's a high school junior. He's the number one player in the country. He's a dominant defensive lineman. I do always look, though, at guys that enroll early. In basketball, reclassifying, maybe not as big a deal. Football, especially at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a tough one.
As dominant as you are in high school, even at 6'6", 275, you're going to be going against offensive linemen who are 20, 21, 22 that are 6'5", 320. They're your size. You know what I mean? It's just a completely different game. I'm not saying he can't do it, and certainly this is a calculated decision that he's trying to make right now, but this news is really significant because it does sort of lead you toward connecting the dots to what we all think Jakeem Stewart is going to do, which is reclassify for the class of 2025 and probably enroll early wherever he goes. Now, he did make 5 visits this summer. He visited LSU and Texas and Oregon, Ohio State, Auburn are the places that he visited this summer. He was in Vegas this past week for the LSU-USC game as well. And USC is one of the teams on the On3 RPM. When you look at the predictions for Jakeem Stewart, they give LSU a 91.1% chance, Bama at 3%, USC at 1.8%, Texas less than 1%. So you kind of see how this is going. One thing that I think you'd have to consider, he did make a visit to Oregon. Oregon, Phil Knight, NIL money, that's always going to be a threat if someone wants to break out a bag and get something done like that. But does Jakeem Stewart want to stay at LSU, stay home, play for LSU? And there's the Frank Wilson component of this as well. Of course, Frank Wilson is a St. Aug alum, and Coach at Perry Walker and his New Orleans high school royalty. We all know the story about Coach Frank. And generally, when there's a kid from New Orleans that Frank Wilson's recruiting, generally he's going to get him.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he got Leonard Fournette out of St. Aug a decade ago, and now here's the next biggest number 1 prospect in the country a decade later out of St. Aug, and he's probably going to get Jakeem Stewart as well. But we'll see. But it's significant news because this is sort of the next step in what we all think is going to transpire, which is Jakeem Stewart reclassifying from 2026 to 2025. And if and when he does, hopefully he picks LSU for what it's worth. Of course, LSU right now has 3 defensive tackles committed already for the class of 2025. And Jakeem Stewart would immediately become the best available prospect, the highest uncommitted prospect for 2025, if in fact he does reclassify.
So he would be reclassifying from 2026 to 2025 next year.
Yeah. So big news in recruiting circles, and but for the fact that it's a kid from the New Orleans area who is thought to be a heavy LSU lean. I'm not sure this is something we would normally talk about. Like Quinn Ewers reclassified and went to Ohio State and then transferred to Texas. We didn't talk about it a ton because LSU wasn't really in the mix for Quinn Ewers. This is one where you're talking about the best player in the country in his class, and he's right down the road in the New Orleans area, and you're trying to get him. And so it sort of accelerates the timeline of trying to get him, if that makes sense. So we'll follow it as it transpires, but Jakeem Stewart today told ESPN he's leaving St. Aug. He'll be enrolled in a new school Monday or Tuesday of next week, and that'll give us a much clearer picture of what the future for the number 1 player in Louisiana, the number 1 player in the country, the class of 2026 is. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Ooh.
I'm not saying I have any insider information, but I'm just going to simply state this fact right here.
Let me hear it.
Daniel Cabrera left New Orleans.
Yep.
And transferred to Parkview Baptist in Baton Rouge.
I remember.
He was the number 1 or number 2 player in the high school that year. So, I mean, Parkview could be in play here. Just throwing it out there. I mean, I've seen it happen before.
He's not going to Parkview.
I mean, he might.
But he's not.
I mean, just like they had the little percentages, I mean, there's a percentage chance that he may go to Parkview. I mean, he could go to Parkview. They would let him graduate early. Probably.
He's not going to Parkview.
I mean, I don't know if he'd be immediately eligible, but he'd have to move into district. I mean, that's a thing. But
you know someone that had to do that?
That's a real thing. It's a real life thing that you have to do.
That's the thing that happens.
Yeah.
For Theriot's daughters, when they left Dunham and transfer, just for the case, when they went to Parkview to be eligible, like, then you had people from the LHSA have to come to your house. And
no, this is a real thing. They did garbage cans. And,
they moved into the district. So
it is a real thing.
Okay, for some people anyway. Because all I know is that when I was a senior at Catholic, or maybe I was a junior, Brady James played his whole career at Wassman, and then for 1 semester of his senior year, he went to West Monroe, and then went back to Wassman and graduated. He played his senior year at West Monroe, then went back to Wassman and graduated. So, like, it ain't a thing for everybody.
Okay, yeah.
It kind of maybe depends where you are. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. I was going to tell you about Supper Club. Y'all, Supper Club, it's a football Friday, the Friday before a home game. Man, if you've not been to Supper Club, the Friday night before football games are a total vibe. You know what else they can do? We should think about this for Parrish. if you have clients or something like that, they can do, or a special date, they can do drink toppers. So like, let's say it's an anniversary. They can do drink toppers with like your wife or your girlfriend's picture on it, or the couple picture on the drink toppers.
That's cool.
They could do, if you have a client, you put your client's logo on the drinks when they come to the table. That's a phenomenal thing. Anyway, it's all the extras that they offer there at Supper Club on top of the best meal you'll ever eat. I know you love the
butter cake.
You love the butter cake.
Yes.
The creme brulee is amazing. The creme brulee could feel like 50. It's as big as this table, and they come with a torch, and they torch it at your table. But you love the butter cake. It really is good.
I do.
Hey man, knocking off work. You want to get your Friday started off right? Get on by Supper Club. Even if you don't have a reservation, open seating at the bar. Maybe get there early. Grab your spot. Have a night over at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Okay, y'all, let me knock out our final break here of hour number 2. We'll come back. We'll do Ask Ryan, and then we'll kick off hour number 3 with our celebrity guest picker and pick the biggest games of the college football weekend. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Duplessis Builders. You want a pool? DuplessisBuilders.net. Thinking about a pool? DuplessisBuilders.net. You want the best? You want DuplessisBuilders.net. Call Derek Duplessis. As a matter of fact, you can call, but why not go into their showroom? Showroom is right there on Airline Highway in Gonzales by the new Rouse's. It's gorgeous. You walk in. They want to hold your hand through the process of designing your pool. They don't want to just come up with designs and just say, here's your pool. They want you to have a say in the tiling, the coping, all the different finishes, so you're thrilled with it. They'll hold your hand and walk you through the whole process. And, of course, you're going to get a beautiful, exceptionally built pool in all of your outdoor space that's going to last. Because they take the time to do it right at Duplessis, that's why they can offer you a 10-year workmanship warranty when the industry standard is 1 year. It's Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net. Check them out online, DuplessisBuilders.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. You know the drill. Get your questions in. Time for Ask Ryan. Yes, Theriot, anything about anything. Reminder, tomorrow, as soon as the game goes final with LSU and Nicholls, T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan Cigar Bar right there in Town Center. A little whiskey and wine. Come join us, have a cocktail, have a fine premium cigar. If you can't be at Don Juan, join us on
AFR.
Brought to you by Shop Hills Tire and Auto
Moose like that one.
Service. ShopHillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. ShopHillsTire.com. ShopHillsTire.com. You know, before you drive to 30A, or when Uncle Jerry was driving back when it was just A, or I guess probably been if it was just 30, right? Anyway, you need good tires on your vehicle, don't you?
Yeah, you have to have them.
You got to have good tires. I mean, you want the best tires on the road. A rainy day like this, it's a very unsettling feeling when you're slip sliding all over the road because you don't have any tread in your tires.
Not a good feeling.
You got cheap tires on your vehicle. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Get the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. That's what Shop Hills does, because they'll work really hard to combine the manufacturer's offer with their own in-house offer. Of course, they offer the Shop Hills credit card, which always gets you discounts. So learn more. Go to the website, ShopHillsTire.com, ShopHillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top. You see all the great offers that they have. Shop Hills, we keep you rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
This is SportsCenter. I'm Doug Brown. NFL kickoff weekend continues tonight in Sao Paulo, Brazil, with the Eagles and the Packers. Free agent offensive lineman Taylor Lewan says the stakes are high for this one.
This week one for the Philadelphia Eagles has more implications than any other team in the entire NFL. When you start the season the way you did in 2023 and end the way you did, and now you go into this, you've lost Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox, two massive leaders into retirement.
Taylor Lewan on Get Up. Tonight is the first NFL game in South America and the first international season opening game. Bengals wideout Jamar Chase says he'll be a game-time decision for Sunday's opener against the Patriots because of what he calls an aggravating contract dispute. He's listed as questionable. Teammate T. Higgins is doubtful with a sore hamstring. The Astros activate Kyle Tucker from the injured list. He'd been out 3 months with a fracture in his right shin. Men's semifinal day at the U.S. Open. Coverage right now on ESPN. Number 1 seed Yannick Sinner leads Jack Draper 2-0. Later, the All-American semi between Francis Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Commercial Insurance. It flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Guess who's back?
I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
With Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Let me find out your wine spanks that hide your gut. Let me find
Hour
out
3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul.
They're chanting Paul
O'Neal's name. So. Theriot. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
All right. Last week in Vegas, Russ Mitchell on site with us did the honors as our celebrity guest picker. Paul, if we could see the graphic once more. All three of us picked the 5 games because there were only 5 games worth mentioning. All three of us picked the 5 games identically. And all three of us went 4-1 with our only loss being LSU losing to USC. Today, a fuller slate of games this weekend, so we'll have a full 10 games. And it's time to meet our celebrity guest picker. Mr. The Riot, would you like to do the honors?
I'd love to. I'd love to. Cue it up, Muse. This guy, we're really excited to have him. This is our first guest picker. Well, I guess we had Russ.
Yeah.
But for a home game this year, 2024 season. This guy once got kicked out of the Canal Bingo Hall for cheating old ladies out of their Social Security checks over on Canal Boulevard in Thibodaux. He was the voted first chair 3 years in a row in the Thibodaux Orchestra. He played the skin flute. He still holds the record at Big Mike's Barbecue for consuming 9 racks of baby back ribs in one sitting. Let me introduce you guys, ladies and gentlemen, Cade.
Let's go. Here. That's not the camera you were on there. No, there it is. No, there it is. That wasn't it either. I mean, that's the monitor CV. You've been in the studio enough. How about it? Now, the OG, the original AFR producer, the 2 people that have worked here at this place the longest are me and Cade. And Cade, I think, actually got me beat by a few weeks. So
it was 10 racks of ribs. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Everything accurate.
Wiki had it wrong.
Yeah.
CV.
Jeez.
You know, Cade, I know you're a very proud Nicholls alum.
That's correct.
No joke. Like, Cade is a very proud Nicholls alum. I don't mean that tongue-in-cheek at all. We looked for a celebrity guest picker. Not to say that you're not a celebrity, but we usually look, for people with some, national or international fame.
Yeah.
Very recognizable person. The list of the notable alumni on the Nicholls Wikipedia is not exactly long and distinguished. Who would you have thought we'd gone after? Who do you think is the creme de la creme?
There was a defensive back who played for the Ravens for a couple of seasons. Ladarius Webb. And so, that's the one that stands out. There's got to be a baseball guy that I know.
Mike Moeller is one.
Okay.
You got Darryl Hamilton.
Yep. And then Punky Brewster.
Right. Look, my guy. I wanted Bobby Dickerson, who held all the records. And then before Bobby, you had Rondon Anderson. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rondon.
Yeah.
All-time name gamer. But that was about it.
Yeah, it's we had. Man, there's not many.
Okay.
But we are a proud bunch. We have some notable state reps.
That was my point. Like, you go look at the notable alums.
Norby Schauber,
you got if it ain't like state reps, Billy Tozan,
right? Yeah.
State reps or congressmen and women. Like,
yeah, but don't you have to have those people though from there?
You mean from?
You know what I mean?
You have to have those people.
But they don't necessarily have to come from Nicholls, but you have to.
But from the region, yes, the region is represented
Yeah.
in the state in the house, the state representatives, but also in the House of Representatives, but also in the U.S. House of Representatives.
And there's got to be somebody that's done something cool from there though. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep searching.
The Mannings hooked us up with a field.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's kind of adjacent Nicholls, right?
Right.
It counts.
Yeah.
Counts.
We talked about Donnie Rouse.
Oh yeah. Worked at Rouse's as a kid.
I don't know if did Donnie go to Nicholls? I don't know if Donnie went to Nicholls. That's why we got hung up there a little bit.
I get conflicting reports, but I've heard that the first Rouse's is the one that's right down the street from campus.
Yeah.
Which worked
Correct.
At, so
Yeah, that's
and it was called something like something. It was like a produce market initially, and then they built a grocery store on the spot where the produce market was. I learned this whenever, as we've now endorsed Rouse's, and that's an amazing store. It's been there for 100 years.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Down there, they just called the Rouse.
The Rouse.
Yeah.
Got it. At the Rouse.
Yeah.
That's my voice.
Make the groceries at the Rouse.
You ever hear a commercial on this station where there's someone feigning a Cajun accent? It's our guy, CV. CV, where you hail from?
So technically, I grew up in Bayou du Large, which is a big fishing place, and address is Homa, but claim Bayou du Large in Theriot.
I love it.
Actually, yeah, right down the street.
Theriot.
City named Theriot.
The city of Theriot.
Yeah.
Good spot.
A booming metropolis.
Oh,
the
yeah,
city
good
of
spot.
Theriot.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. We got 10 games to pick. Muse, hit us with your music if you would. CV, I don't think when you were doing this show, 14 years ago, that we were doing a celebrity guest picker.
No, I'm pretty sure we weren't.
But I do think in your time...
I made tons of upgrades since I've gone.
Well, the studio, one of them, namely.
Yeah.
But anyway, CV, no spreads. We're just picking winners.
Okay.
We got 10 games. I like your shirt, too, by the way.
Well, it's, brand new, team issued.
Team issued.
Holler at Rebo the other day. He said, "Got you, bro." Right there.
That's a beautiful shirt and hat too.
Yeah.
Our guy. So
I'm supporting the baseball team too.
So our guy printed out a Nicholls logo and just taped it. Or you pinned it.
It's a Guarantee Media pin that I found in the prize closet.
Turn the pin backwards.
Right. I didn't want it to stick.
The pin's backwards. I love it.
Yeah. It looks like a little star.
It
right?
does, man.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the Nicholls logo on
This
his
is
shirt.
official because it's got the tassel on the sword. That's an official.
That's official.
Yeah.
By the way, the hat is actually in my office.
Yes.
Because Coach Thibodeau, the former baseball coach, who's always very kind and generous with his time, gave me that hat, so I keep it in my office. I keep it on the shelf in my office.
I've got one really good Nicholls polo that I plan to wear tomorrow and the hat, so I didn't want to wear them today, and I appreciate your generosity for today, the hat.
You got it, babe. You know what, CV?
Yeah.
It's yours.
Oh, badass. Thank you so much.
From Coach Thibodeau to me, from me to you, it's yours, CV, for doing this. All right, let's go. Tonight, Duke at Northwestern up there in Evanston, Illinois. CV, you start us off.
What did Jimmy Ott call this? The ACT Classic? I'm going to give me Northwestern. Give me Northwestern. I got a good mass comm program over there.
What you got?
I'm picking Duke in this one.
All right, I am also going with Northwestern. Actually, I have a pretty healthy play on Northwestern tonight as well, so here's hoping it comes through. Big one tomorrow in the big house. Texas of the SEC. Going to try to do the conference proud up there in Ann Arbor against the defending champs, CV, Texas at Michigan.
Texas being the Sunshine State, coming into the conference this year, I'm going to go with the Horns.
Sunshine State.
Am I wrong there? Fact check me, but I'm going to Texas.
So stupid. Ryan. The Sunshine State.
Give me Texas.
All right, we're all going Texas. Arkansas is at Oklahoma State. Hoping the Hogs can just keep it close. What do you think, CV?
Well, we do currently have a membership to Sam's, so I think there's some kind of connection there.
Yep.
Who are they playing again? Who's Arkansas playing again?
They're at Oklahoma State.
Give me the Oklahoma State. Give me Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. You know the
Cowboys.
The Cowboys. There
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
It was evading you there briefly. Mr. The Riot.
Me too.
All right, we're all going Oklahoma State there. Ollie Gordon a little too much. Arkansas, as Phil Steele reminded us in hour one, is an underdog. Pretty good a year ago. They played Bama close. They played Georgia close. They played LSU close. So maybe even on the road they can keep that one within the number. But I do like Oklahoma State and Ollie Gordon to win at home. The Cy-Hawk Trophy. Iowa State is in Iowa City to take on the Hawkeyes.
Whoa.
CV.
Give me Iowa State.
All right.
Cyclones. You got that song? Oh, no, my bad.
She move her body like a cyclone?
Yeah,
Baby
yeah,
Bash?
yeah.
We normally do. But, I mean, CV, if Muse was you, he'd have it ready. You know what I mean? Like, your forethought there, OG, you know what I mean?
It just came to me. I wasn't prepared for that.
Brian.
Iowa.
Okay.
Iowa.
I'm going Iowa as well. SEC action. South Carolina on the road in Lexington against Kentucky. Neither team's super great last week. What we think here, CV?
Didn't Kentucky, that game ended?
It
like,
ended
abruptly?
because of weather.
Okay.
So they canceled, just ended, whatever.
I'll take the Wildcats.
Me too. I like their coach.
Who's their coach?
I don't know, but he gets mad and yells and screams.
Mark Stoops.
Stoops.
Mark Stoops.
Talks about being tough all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
He likes being tough?
I guess so.
Tough guy.
Yeah, Kentucky, the show me state.
It is the show me state.
Show me something, Kentucky. Let's get it done.
We're all going Kentucky. All right. Tennessee. NC State. It's a neutral site matchup in Charlotte. CV, what you think?
Well, much like this segment, I happily volunteered. I'll take the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to pick NC State because I hate Tennessee, but I'm going to pick Tennessee. Tennessee's going to win.
I am going to probably surprise some people. I made this pick already in our staff picks. I'm rolling with NC State in this game. Maybe a little bit of a look-ahead spot last week. This is a neutral site game in Charlotte. Grayson McCall, quarterback, formerly of Coastal Carolina, is now the quarterback at NC State. I do agree with everybody. I think the play in this game is the over, the number 60.5. Lee Sterling was here yesterday and picked at 38-34 NC State. Phil Steele picked the over as well. I think the over is the play. But I am going to pick NC State to pull the upset. I'm not sure that I'm a believer in Tennessee yet. Their defense, especially their secondary, is atrocious. And I think NC State's going to be able to sling the ball around a good bit. Proximity there to Raleigh. They should have a ton of fans in Charlotte. I'm going to pick NC State to beat Tennessee outright. All right, Colorado at Nebraska. Coach Prime against Coach Rule. CV.
Give me prime time.
Okay, going to Colorado. Mr. The Riot.
I feel like Colorado should have lost last week, right? Yeah, I'm going to pick Nebraska here.
Nebraska, by the way, I was watching that game last week. I was watching that game in the sports book at Park MGM. Nebraska was not impressive either. Freshman quarterback in Dylan Raiola. They are at home, and it's such a huge advantage. I know Colorado has the skill guys, and y'all know I've been more bullish on Deion and Coach Prime in Colorado than a lot of people. Like, everyone cracks on them for the way they finished the season, but you forget the year before Deion got there, they won one game. Going from 1 win to 4 wins, that is a dramatic improvement by any standard. You quadrupled the number of wins you had. So I think what he's done there is pretty remarkable, what he inherited to what he's built. I do think tough road game. Matt Rule's a really good coach. And I think Nebraska almost won in Boulder last year. Probably should have won that game in Boulder last year. I do think Nebraska gets revenge and does win this game at home against Colorado. So give me the Cornhuskers. All right, 3 more. Cade Wazan, proud Nicholls alum, our celebrity guest picker. Let's roll through these. Cal at Auburn.
Give me Auburn.
Auburn. Mr. Theriot.
Yeah, Auburn as well.
All right, clean sweep for Auburn. Baylor's at Utah. Dave Aranda. Hot seat for sure. 2-touchdown underdog there in Salt Lake City.
Give me Utah.
The Utes.
All right, Utah, probably a playoff, college football playoff contender. Remember, the Big 12 champion will get an auto bid, be one of the top 4 seeds. Could very well be Utah. All right, finally, the one we've all been waiting for, CB. The big one on the slate. LSU welcoming in an FCS in-state foe from down the bayou.
About time.
This ain't baseball. This ain't basketball. It ain't softball, CV. It's football. 49-point spread. My only question is, does Cade pick to actually try to win, or does he just pick with his heart?
So I'm rolling 7 deep in the game tomorrow. Everybody's bringing at least 2 cans of Zin. Like the 6 version. We're going upper decker, lower decker. This is going to be intense. We cover. We do not win tomorrow night.
Wow.
LSU will win the game.
Wow. I can't believe, CV. To date, the only...
That's a lot of Zin.
That's a lot of nicotine,
call it
bro.
inferior opponent, like FCS, G5, who has picked their team to win was Karl Malone. Karl Malone picked Louisiana Tech to beat LSU outright with his son sitting. It was Karl and KJ were here together, and Karl picked Louisiana Tech to beat LSU. But CV making the heady play. Of course, we're going LSU. Of course, is a 49-point favorite. Yeah. All right, the one and only, the inimitable, Cade Wazan.
Hold on, you got to watch out for number 22 tomorrow night for the Colonels now. Reese Turner.
Let's go.
Everybody check out Reese Turner. And used to coach Reese Turner.
A bit. By the way, there's also probably about a dozen kids from Catholic High on that roster as well. Tim Rebo's done an awesome job, man. There's no denying that. They won the league a year ago. They're the favorite to win it this year. You realize they had 12 preseason first-team all-conference members? 12. I mean, he's done an incredible job. He's just up against it in this game. All right, Stevie, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for popping in.
You're welcome.
All right, it's after further review. We'll continue. Stay here.
AFR.
Yeah, Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Hey, 2 promotions going on we got to remind you about. Number 1, it's the Get Gordon Design My Billboard contest. Go to getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards. This Sunday is the deadline, September the 8th. 11:59 p.m. So Sunday, just before midnight, is the deadline to get your billboard design entry in. Remember, you can win up to $2,000 in prizes and see your design on a billboard somewhere in Baton Rouge. Go to getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards. Also, the Gordon's Guess giveaway, that ends on Tuesday. So that's coming up as well. You can go to getgordon.com/guess, Guess, getgordon.com/guess. There's a billboard around town, actually on 110 head north, August 28th, 2013. You got to guess the significance of that date. If you get it right, you'll be entered to win a prize. Getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision.
50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Rolling along here, 5 o'clock hour, Football Friday edition. Get your Saints-Panthers pick and preview in a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Thursday. The big news, of course, Jawan Johnson moving to running back from defensive back. Did you ever get to see him play at LCA?
No, I did not. Oh, yes, I did. Did he play quarterback there?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Set the Louisiana high school record for yards and touchdowns. Over 14,000 yards and 171 touchdowns. He was insane. And LSU recruited him as a cornerback, and he's played defensive back all throughout fall camp. But now with the injury to John Emery, LSU down just to 3 scholarship running backs. Of course, Trey Holly still waiting on his legal situation to play out. Brian Kelly announced they're moving Jawan Johnson to running back. So he was a quarterback at LCA, but ran for 1,500 yards last year, 1,400 yards the year before. I mean, so he is dynamic with the football.
Is he a freshman?
True freshman, yes. True freshman. So he and Caden Durham, for me, if I'm looking at what I'm keeping an eye on in the game on Saturday, it's not going to be close at all. Of course, I'm very interested. I think Ricky Collins will be the first quarterback after Nuss. So I'm curious to see Ricky Collins hopefully get some extended playing time, and then I want to see the 2 freshman running backs. I want to see Caden Durham, and I want to see Jawan Johnson run out there. Brian Kelly said point blank, he's going to get rep. Jawan Johnson will get playing time on Saturday against Nicholls. So what does that look like? How many carries? Don't know, but you should be comfortably ahead in the second half. You can make that happen. He did, by the way, he was asked about both Garrett Dellinger and Chris Hilton. It's okay, Misano. It was really quick. I know Hilton's out, and Dellinger is questionable for the game. So I don't know, man. I don't know how you feel, but I'm bummed for Chris Hilton a lot here. It's a local guy from Zachary who he's had 3 surgeries already in his time at LSU, and this was supposed to be the year where he had his chance to get his reps and to break out. And to have the bone bruise really the second to last Saturday of fall camp, and now to miss 2 games just sucks, man. I hate it for him. You practice for the opportunity to go play on Saturdays, and now 2 games of his senior season now are going to be gone. But I think you'll agree it's probably the right decision. If he's not 100%, you don't run him out there. You don't need him against Nicholls. You get young guys reps, and then you try to get him ready for next week against South Carolina. You don't want to compound the issue and make it worse. Let it heal.
Not with an injury like a bone bruise, something that could linger. Did
you ever have that?
Yeah, I used to in my heel, actually, of all places, and I mean it was miserable.
What was it like?
It's just like a throb, just a constant throb, and yeah, I mean it's one of those, like a hamstring. You just kind of a nagging, obviously with the bone bruise, it's not really a risk of blowing out a hammy, but it does hurt. And we've got a couple guys like that. You got Hilton and also Emery, obviously with the ACL that you look at with high hopes and tons of potential, and then you start to see it go downhill. Hopefully he can get back right. They could have used him against USC. Somebody that can take the top off the defense and get down the field. So it's definitely a weapon that this offense needs from a vertical passing standpoint. So hopefully you can get him back soon.
The other guy that Brian Kelly mentioned was Garrett Dellinger, your starting right guard, who is questionable for the game. Listen, Dellinger's played in 35 career games. He started 27 career games. You don't need him against Nicholls. And I think the more interesting thing is if they start Tyree Adams. So Tyree Adams played left tackle in fall camp as the number 2 behind Will Campbell, second-year player out of New Orleans. And he really flashed in fall camp. There were a lot of impressive wins. I was looking over my notes from fall camp, when I charted the pass rush, the pass rush drills. He did impressive wins against Deshaun Womack and some guys who are contributors on Saturday right now, some veteran guys. But what was interesting is whenever Dellinger got hurt in camp, Adams moved to right guard. So they've cross-trained him at tackle and guard, and he's effectively their 6th lineman. So when someone's out, he's the next guy in. I mean, I hope we don't have to find this out, but if something happened to Will Campbell, I would say, would you just move Emory Jones over to left tackle, or does Tyree Adams go in? Hopefully we never have to find out that answer. But if you did, I think that would be interesting to see what you do. But I think it's a really good opportunity for Tyree Adams, if Dellinger doesn't play, to start and get a lot of reps and to feel what that's like. Because, I think you agree with this. There's just nothing that's a replacement for experience. Like to be in the starting lineup, to run out there with the offense for the first play, to be there when the stadium is full. You know what I mean? Like to feel that. And there's just probably going to be a time during the course of this season where you have injuries on the offensive line. Look, Emory Jones missed a game last year, and Lance Hurd played in his place. Emory Jones started as a freshman when he went in for injury and then never gave up his job. So it's going to happen at some point this year. So I'd just rather these guys get their feet wet a little bit in a game like this. Your
preparation's different. Your mindset, thought process going into the game is different when you know that you're a starter. You know that you're the guy. You're going to get tons of reps. It's basically your game to have. I don't care how you say or how many times you say, you prepare as if you're playing every inning or every snap or every down, but it's just a different feel. So, physically, I don't think a whole lot changes, but mentally, they need to have those reps.
Can you play number 9, Muse? Brian Kelly was asked about Kyle Parker. Remember, Parker, the second-year player, replaced Chris Hilton, suffered a UCL injury last week.
Tommy John?
Right? That's not, by the way, that bite is not Kyle Parker. It's Kamorian Pimpton. KP is Kamorian Pimpton. Anyways, that's not about Kyle Parker.
So he blew out his UCL.
I don't know that he blew it out, but he hurt his UCL last week.
Huh.
That's what Brian Kelly said. So I think maybe he landed funny on his elbow or something like that, like a little nerve issue there.
It sucks.
I have a little one of these. He's not going to give you any of this.
No. He should. If a wide receiver has Tommy John, that's got to be the first. That's got to be a first.
I don't know if he's having Tommy John. I don't think he needs surgery, but he hurt his UCL. I guess there's many ways you can hurt a UCL. It's just very commonly associated with pitchers. But specifically with Kyle Parker, the interesting thing is that with Kyle Parker seemingly not available this week, if he's not available this week, Shelton Sampson's the guy that they're ramping up. So 5-star kid from Catholic who has been really impressive at times in practice when we've seen him. He's a big log jam last year, but Parker was the one who just emerged at that spot in fall camp ahead of Sampson. Well, now with Parker injured, we'll see Shelton Sampson. That's all I'm interested in tomorrow. I want to see all the backups play. I want to see Shelton Sampson. I want to see Ricky Collins. I want to see the 2 running backs. I want to see Don McKinley get in there on the defensive line, see if he can go wreck stuff. I think Kalaj Cobbins, I've told you, Kalaj Cobbins, Gabe Relaford, 2 freshman ends. Those dudes look awesome. There were times where they were a handful for starters in this fall camp. So those are 2 dudes that I think look the part, that are going to be awesome, and this is going to be a good opportunity, I think, for them to go get some reps. So, ain't a whole lot to look forward to this game. You want to make a pick?
Did you? I'm sure you commented during the week on the run blocking and the offensive line. I thought they pass blocked amazing against USC, obviously. But I would like to see that offensive line impose its will and push Nicholls back, and open up some holes and for these running backs to run to.
Well, you're looking at just a dramatically different size. It's just a different level of physicality. So if LSU wants to line up and just run the ball at them, they can. I think what you try to do is run your offense in the first half, even a scaled-down version. You want to get some efficiency. And then, when the game's over, then you put your backups in and you let them go run base plays. But I'm also curious with the weather. Like, if it's raining and it's a wet track, like, does that change how you approach things? I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. Our buddy by Parish Construction Roofing, also Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, tell you all the time. Patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. You and Richard partnered with Jim Woodworth. I mentioned that all the time. And that's gone exceptionally well on the restoration side, either residential or commercial as well. You guys can fog any size building. Like you said, patented. Like nobody else can do it. It's a true dry fog. When space is treated, whether it be a home or a commercial building or business, there is no residue left, and it does its job. It's tested beforehand for mold and any pathogens, and then third party, and then obviously the fog's performed, then tested again third party afterward. And the results have been amazing. Literally every single job, it has been an A+, amazing, unbelievable result. So if you do have mold or think you may have mold, which, it's pretty prevalent here in South Louisiana, give the guys a call at Parish Restoration. It's an awesome product. I mean, it really is. Nobody else can do it. ParishBuilt.com. Hit the restoration tab. ParishBuilt.com. You did a good job. That's good? Good job, yeah. It was really good. It was very believable. Thanks. Very believable. Yeah. Very easy to understand. Mm-hmm. Good job. Thank you. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We do have to talk Saints-Panthers, final preview prediction, and we'll get to Ask Ryan to wrap up the show here in about 15 minutes from right now. Stay with us. It's AFR. AFR. Got issues with your HVAC? There's only one number to call. 752-0001. 752-0001. 752-0001. Or you can go online, oneourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, oneourbr.com. They're the best. At River City's 1 Hour Air, they got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor. Part of the reason they've been in business for 40 years. So they've developed an incredible book of business over 4 decades. But also because they pride themselves on doing the job right. They hire good people. They give them the best incentives in the business to stay. So you have technicians that stay with the company for years. Great retirement benefits, health benefits, employee vacations, and things like that. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. So the best quality people are coming to your house to work on your home central AC. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Would you jump 172 feet into a body of water voluntarily?
No chance.
We're just in the break, and I opened up Instagram, and there's a video from like 1984 of this guy who set a world record high dive jump at 172 feet. He went in feet first, so I don't even know that it actually counts, because on a high dive, right, I mean, you got to go in head first and make a small splash, right, like the platform dive or even the board. But from 172 feet, if you go in head first,
it's over.
You might die.
Yeah, it's over.
I'm surprised he didn't, like, break his legs, because it's like when you're that high, isn't it like hitting concrete effectively?
I mean, I don't know if it's like hitting concrete, but I mean, it's like hitting, it's not like just stepping in the bathtub.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that.
I wonder how high you'd have to be to where when you hit water, like, I've heard that, like where you'll break kneecaps and break bones and stuff if you're that high. Like, how high would you have to be?
That's a good question. But
Muse gets high all the time. How high would you have to be, Muse?
I wouldn't know, Matt. I can Google it.
Okay.
But I wouldn't know.
He's gonna Google it.
Why would people even do that though? Like, that's my thing.
I don't know, man.
Like,
you know me well enough. I'm not the thrill seeker. I don't even ride roller coasters.
Oh, dude, I rode roller coasters at Disney.
Oh, yeah?
Disney.
Which one
I mean,
did
they
you
weren't
ride?
like real roller. I mean, they were Disney roller coasters.
Yeah.
I did all of them.
You wait in line?
Yeah.
See,
Well, here's what happened. The
He's not
kids,
doing it.
the family went in. They wanted to ride all the rides. I just kind of hung out. I probably called you a few times. I just waited. I waited. And then I'm like, what am I doing? It's just a roller coaster. When I saw those 7-year-olds walking up, I'm like, I can do this. Ryan, you can do this.
You can do this, Ryan.
You can do it. And so I did it, and I actually enjoyed it. And so then I was hooked at that point. But I was told it's not like, like the big roller coasters. The Disney roller coasters are different. But I still enjoyed it.
Just not interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
All right, it's after further review. Saints-Panthers Sunday from the Dome. Did get the injury report. The only maybe notable thing today is that A.T. Perry did not practice. He's officially questionable for the game. So we'll see if a guy who might well be the Saints' third best receiver is available or unavailable for this game. Dennis Allen met with reporters afterwards. And, I think we're all going to be keeping an eye on Derek Carr, year 2 in New Orleans. Everyone says it's supposed to be better. Derek Carr said how more comfortable he is in year 2 with the system, the people, the teammates, all of it. So in what ways is Dennis Allen seeing Derek Carr progress here?
I think he's more comfortable, obviously, being here. He's more comfortable in this organization. Obviously, when you move, there's a lot of other things that go along with that. It's not just going to a new team and having to deal with all the things with a new team. There's new schools. Your wife has to meet new friends. Your kids are meeting new people. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. And so, I think his family's comfortable now. I think he's comfortable. I think he's grown a lot in terms of this offense and what we're doing in this offense. I think he's getting more and more confident in what we're doing offensively. And so I'm excited about him having an opportunity to go out there and play.
How much do you buy into all of that? Like, I don't know that I believe that Derek Carr's struggles a year ago were because he was in a new place and there's new schools and kids are making new friends. I'm not saying those things are aren't real, right? I mean, you moved around from Chicago, L.A., St. Louis, San Francisco. I mean, you were a lot of places. Like, oh, that's real, but at the same time, when you're a 10-year veteran, you go play.
So it is real. And yes, it sometimes can be a bit of a culture shock and change. But you are 100% correct. You're a pro. Like, this is what you do. This is what you signed up for. This is what your wife and your children signed up for. Like, they got it. Your wife, she's got it. And she's got people helping her move. She's got family and friends coming to help and get everybody comfortable. Like, that's a real thing. It happens with all these folks. Derek Carr has plenty enough money to fly folks in and help and make everything comfortable. And you don't like the house you're living in? Okay, well, we'll go buy another one. Like, that's a real thing. So I don't buy any of that. I think that's total BS. You have to be a pro. At that point, this is your job, man. No, you've been in this league for 10 years. You know exactly what to expect. You know what comes when you move in new cities and new places and new teammates. And I get it. I mean, I liked it. I embraced it. I like the new stuff. You know, I mean, get me around some good people. I mean, the truth is the guy just stinks. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, he's not a good quarterback, and he wasn't a good quarterback when we got here. I don't care how comfortable he is. He's not going to be a good quarterback.
I think, as I've always said about Derek Carr, he is we know what he is. I don't think he stinks, but I think he is never going to be an elite. At his absolute best, his ceiling, Derek Carr's ceiling, in my opinion, is a fringe top 10 quarterback at his absolute best. But we've really only seen that like once in his career. And it was the 2019 season in Oakland. He threw for COVID. He threw for 27 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, threw for 4,100 yards. We just haven't seen that very much in his career. Mostly he's a lower mid, upper bottom tier quarterback in the NFL. That's what he is. So I don't know that all the change is what matters. I mean, listen, we see quarterbacks move around in the NFL. Russell Wilson went from Seattle to Denver, and he stunk because he's finished.
He stunk his last couple years in Seattle.
He's going to stink in Pittsburgh this year.
That's right.
I'll be curious to see what a guy like Kirk Cousins does, moving from Minnesota to Atlanta. But when Kirk Cousins moved from Washington to Minnesota, became a very good quarterback in the NFL, became a playoff quarterback in the NFL. So I don't know that I buy any of that. The real concern with New Orleans is the fact that your offensive line stinks. You don't have a very deep receiving core. You have aging running backs. You don't really have proven pass catchers at tight end. The hope is, where you invested in Clint Kubiak, that his scheme can overcome your personnel deficiencies. We'll get an answer very quickly of that on Sunday with Carolina, because if you can't get it done against Carolina, when you look at what's ahead with Dallas and Philly and Atlanta and Kansas City, like, the gauntlet is coming. So you better go win this game on your home field Sunday. I don't think Carolina is very good, but you better go win this game Sunday. Saints are a 4-point favorite in the Dome. You want to pick it?
Yeah. I mean, the Saints are going to lose. But I do have a comment. Do we have time or not? Here's the thing.
Why do you think they lose?
I don't think that. Well, Dennis Allen's not any good.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
They also were 9-8 a year ago.
Yeah, no, I understand that. He's not a good coach. But mediocre quarterbacks have won Super Bowls before. There's been teams with deficiencies that the coaching has put them in positions to win football games. And you just mentioned Kubiak and schemes, and like that's a real thing. Like, coaches can impact the game and put guys in positions to win. So not only does the quarterback stink, but the head coach really stinks. So the Saints aren't going to win.
But the head coach is a good defensive coach. That is objectively true.
Oh, he can coach defense, but you have to score.
Yes, and they did score at times last year, but a lot of times it was scoring late, and I've talked about it all. From who the breaks they got with their schedule, and missing Justin Fields in Chicago and instead playing Tyler Bagent, missing Daniel Jones. Not that he's great, but he was a playoff quarterback. Missing Daniel Jones and instead facing Tommy Cutlets. I mean, you got some breaks last year in that spot. But this is still Bryce Young and an offense that I don't know that they're ready to be very good, especially on the road against a good Saints defense. So I do think the Saints are going to win this game. I hate the line. I wouldn't make a play on the spread at all. I would probably tend to lean Carolina +4, but I do think this is a game that the Saints win. But I'm really worried based on all the I think genuine cause for concern around this offense and how it might fare. I mean, Brian Branch isn't there anymore, but they bring in Jadeveon Clowney. You still got Derek Brown there on that defensive line, who's a menace and a monster. I think they're going to create problems for the Saints offensively. I don't think this is a high-scoring game. The total is 41.5, but I think the Saints have enough to get this win. I'm going to pick the Saints to win this game in the Dome. I'm completely staying away from the line, from a side in this game. I don't like the spread whatsoever, but I do think the Saints win the game at home, start off 1-0. They won 5 straight openers. They win this one, it would be 6 consecutive openers. That's the longest streak currently in the NFL. So I do think the Saints get a win on Sunday, and they better get it because I don't think you're winning next week in Dallas. I don't think you're beating Philly. You could beat Atlanta, but that's a road game. You're certainly not winning at Kansas City. It's going to be a very, very tough start. You got to get the ones you can get, and this is one you have to get. So let's see if the Saints go do it on Sunday in the Dome. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're aboard with us. Brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. We're going to need to ask Ryan here in just a quick second after the break, so get your questions in for Theriot. But remember, if you've been thinking about a Generac automatic home standby generator, go to Optimize. I'm looking on the screen right here. Flash flood watch flood watch in effect. It's been raining and raining. I know you've heard the same thing as I have. It's supposed to be a very active September. Even like
next week, possible hurricane.
Storm season is not over, and you just never know when that storm may come that'll knock power out. And if you want to be ready, call Optimize. They'll come install a Generac automatic home standby generator. They keep inventory on site. They can help you get permits. They can talk to your electric company to make sure everything gets done right to code, so you're safe. You get a great install and a unit that will last. It's Optimize. Go to GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Lake Charles to Slidell, everywhere in between on the 1012 corridor. It's Optimize. Go to GeneratorPeople.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. We got one segment to go. Ryan's here, so we'll get to ask Ryan. Get your questions in. You can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Ask Ryan is next.
After Further Review.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. You wanted to get Donnie Rouse on the show today to be our guest picker. Didn't work out. Went with CV instead. But you want to go to Rouse? Rouse's. You do so. They've got the truckload sale going on right now. So buy in on a budget, get to Rouse's. Always have great deals. Would always encourage you to make sure you check out the weekly ad. I mean, let's just be very honest. Inflation sucks. It's affected everybody at the grocery store. And if you want to help beat inflation a little bit, make sure you're taking advantage of the great specials when you're putting together your grocery list over at Rouse's. The truckload sale is going on right now, so find how you can save big right now at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Hey, if you're going to be tailgating Saturday for the Tigers or Sunday for the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's can help. They got their game day platters. If you want sandwich trays or cheese trays or fruit trays or vegetable trays, they got them all. You can get your tailgating platters. If you want ribs or brisket or whatever it may be, it's Rouse's. They got you covered. Rouse's, this feels like home.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Friday edition of AFR. Hopefully y'all can join us at Don Juan tomorrow. T-Bob and I will be live as soon as the game goes. Final clock hits 0. We're live for Whiskey and Wine. Scales.
They could
Michelle's
use
got
some
'em.
scales. Yeah.
Michelle Weighing and Measurement. Michelle.com. Michelle.com. Saw the video of Billy Napier trying to open the water bottle.
I did.
Somebody didn't calibrate
I
that
did
top
see that.
correctly. Should have been calibrated properly. They need Michelle, whoever that company is. Michelle.com. Michelle.com. Ask Ryan, what's your favorite pizza place?
Johnny's, no doubt about it. I may go to Johnny's tonight.
See ya.
After Further Review.
As we get on down the road, I'm going to remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020. 924-2020. You want to see 2020?
I do.
You know someone that may be aging a little bit, starting to have some issues with their eyesight?
It was bad.
Yeah, struggling to see that small type on the phone a little bit. Need the readers at the end of the nose. Need the flashlight on the phone to be able to read a menu. Does it sound familiar? Ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Hitting home?
That's me.
Stinging a little bit?
No, not sting. I is what it is. It's
What
age.
What if it didn't have to be?
I don't want it
What
to
if
be.
you didn't shrug your shoulders, go, it's just age? Yeah. This thing, hold it away, and you do this thing with your face. You got to go like, you have to do this because this helps. Yeah, raise your eyes and put your like that to see.
Yep.
Yeah, the Williamson Eye Center can make that not a thing with age. No matter your age or refractive issue, they have a procedure to help you see 20/20 without contacts or glasses. Schedule that consultation today. WilliamsonEye.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
I'm looking forward